Welcome to the 9/11 War Room, a weekly roundtable discussion that takes place every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Tune in at 911warroom.com.
Welcome to the 9/11 War Room. My name is Gene.
My name is Sandra. Today's August the 16th, and we got episode 248.
Right on. Quite a bit of news and some videos to share, so be patient with us as we get through this. And it's ramping up because, in a few weeks, it's going to be the 25th anniversary. Counterintelligence is out there, mainstream propaganda is out there, and the news is loaded with it. Yep. So let's jump in. Variety magazine starts us off. Disney plans hours of commemorative 9/11 coverage across ABC, Disney Plus, National Geographic, and more. And as I kept reading this article, it just got worse and worse. And I stopped highlighting because I'll just try to summarize. Disney's efforts are expected to be just one among several from major media outlets. CBS News has extensive plans through the day. I love that quoted. Extensive plans throughout the day, including live coverage of ceremonies happening in the morning. The Paramount Skydance unit said in a statement, "We are also dedicating our entire primetime lineup that night to special 9/11 remembrance programming, and we will have additional details on these specials in the coming weeks." Fox News Channel, MS Now, and NBC News are also expected to offer special programming tied to the anniversary, according to people familiar with those outlets' plans. The immediate effect of 9/11 coverage were clear and significant. The networks, I'm going to skip that. This was striking, and we'll talk about this in another couple news stories. This phrasing here, one of the key underpinnings of Disney's work and research showing that 100 million Americans today.
Time for new siding. I wanted to. Sorry.
Oops. Yep. Underpinning showing 100 million Americans today have no lived memory of September 11th, 2001, and did not witness any of the service or unity that was a strong element of the national response. Again, for those just joining us, I just hear a bunch of people pouring in. We just started the news, and we're covering the Disney plans hours of commemorative 9/11 news coverage. And their focus, it seems here, this is what's striking, and we'll talk about it in a couple news stories, that 100 million Americans today have no lived memory. That's kind of an interesting phrase. It's going to come up again. It goes on to say National Geographic will, on August 21st, launch a new 3-part docuseries called 9/11 Reunited. We're going to talk about that in a minute. It goes on to say ABC on September 1st will air a 2-hour primetime ABC News special led by Good Morning America co-anchor Michael Strahan that explores how sports, music, Broadway, and media and comedy helped U.S. citizens move forward following the 9/11 terrorist attacks. The special will air on ABC, the stream the next day on Disney Plus and Hulu. An encore simulcast will take place on Friday, not September 11th, on ABC, ABC News Live, Disney Plus, and Hulu. Like, these guys are all over this. Goes on to say additional special coverage will continue across Good Morning America, World News Tonight with David Muir, Nightline, this week with George Stephanopoulos, The View, highlighting the profound stories of resilience and strength to honor this anniversary. And then it goes on and on and on. It's just like they're going to saturate the news cycle with all kinds of programming, sharing the mainstream narrative news and being very emotional about it, I'm sure.
Well, in their defense, and God knows they need one.
Yes.
It's hard to imagine any TV station completely ignoring the anniversary. Right. So of course they're going to focus on it. And of course it's going to be the official story. And of course it's going to be emotional and all about the resilience. So, it's par for the course, but when you actually read it out like that, it's like, yeah, it seems overwhelming, like some people like to say.
Yep. News. Next one. This is talking about one of the items mentioned in there. National Geographic releases emotional trailer for new 9/11 special, 9/11 Reunited. We're just going to play the trailer here. It's about a minute and 42 seconds.
We don't hear anything.
Forgot to share my sound. Thank you. Pardon a moment while we do the technical difficulties. Try it again.
It's been 25 years. And without both of them, I would have never made it out.
That day, someone risked their life to save my life.
She was the only one on the ground that wasn't running. I said, I gotta stop.
It's been 25 years, and I never saw him or heard of him again.
I've always wanted to say thank you.
I'd like to say thank you.
I need to say thank you to them for saving my life. They symbolize the best of humanity, those that would sacrifice themselves to save the life of another human being.
I don't have a whole lot of memories of my dad, so I'm looking forward to hearing what he remembers.
Because of him, I had hopes, dreams. Like, it means everything.
That bond will always be there between us. And I want him to know that he changed my life.
Oh my goodness.
I want to tell you, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is terrible. I'm just.
It does hit the
Oh
emotional
my
heartstrings. And there is a place for it. I mean,
There is absolutely a place for it. I mean, that's kind of why we're here, right?
Yep. So be looking out for that. 9/11 Reunited will be coming out here shortly. Next news story. This is from USA Today. 9/11 attacks changed everything. How should we remember it? And it's in an opinion piece. It asks, and they want your input. So what's really great here, once you read through this, they say you can email them at forum@usatoday.com with the subject line Forum 9/11, or you can use this form that they add here with all kind of questions they're asking you. And I filled it out as a 9/11 truth advocate, and I think everybody here should as well. So I will include this in the show notes.
If I can make a suggestion, because show notes and War Room uploads are sporadic, because of everything that we're doing, maybe you can put that link in the chat so that those who want to do it before have the chance to do it.
Let's do that right now. Good, man. Thanks for the prompt. So
Just because I'm thinking, I need that link. So yeah,
there it is. It's in the chat right now. Followed up by another one that's asking kind of the same thing. This is from the American Legion. Show how you'll commemorate the 25th anniversary of 9/11. American Legion family members encouraged to share their Patriotic Day plans. A downloadable speech is available to assist those efforts. Again, you can email them at sbrooks@legion.org with details about the event and anything going on. If anybody remembers, I wish I had queued up this clip that I had. It was from the American Legion when they made a resolution requesting Congress to look into the USS Liberty attacks. And I think that was back in 2017, and Congress still has not done anything about that. But things are looking better. But I want to let American Legion know, and I would hope some people here would also help me let them know how we're going to commemorate the 9/11 25th anniversary. Next story, talks underway. We've been talking about this a little while ago. Talks underway to settle the 9/11 World Trade Center air quality records fight. Both sides in the long-running legal dispute over the public release of thousands of 9/11 World Trade Center documents generated by New York City during the Giuliani and Bloomberg administrations confirmed they are in settlement talks with just a month to go before the 25th anniversary of the attacks. I'm not going to rehash it, but Gail Brewer from the city council had started some things. Mamdani said he's going to invest in another portal, $34 million portal to get some records, but nothing's happened yet. And this just letting us know that they're getting to the end of it. We'll see. Next news story. This is from Penn State University. McCourtney Institute to mark 9/11 anniversary with film screening and discussion. says here the McCourtney Institute will host a screening of the documentary 9/11 Reclaiming Ground Zero on September 10th at 7 p.m. in the Carnegie Cinema in that area. If you get a chance, I want to...
Is that in Pittsburgh?
No, that's Penn State College. Anybody in the mid-Pennsylvania, center of Pennsylvania should check this out. Here is that screening of that documentary. This is about 2 minutes.
What I remember most of all is how incredibly beautiful the weather was.
Oh, hang on a second. Come on, please play. Terrible.
Was.
Of course, it's going to pause right at the same place.
So
there we go.
Peaceful about the city.
I was downtown, getting out of my car when the first plane hit.
We just got a report in that there's been some sort of explosion.
I went straight to the elevators. Doors opened up, looked like a war zone outside.
Just a few moments ago, something crashed into the South Tower. There was a tremendous boom.
A gigantic sonic boom.
In New York, you're only aware of how loud it is all the time when it goes quiet.
There started to be a sense of we have to do something.
What should we do? What's the right thing to do with the World Trade Center space?
I mean, after the debris would be cleared and the bodies recovered and buried, we had a city to rebuild.
Everybody suddenly had an idea. You could see very early on that it was all going in a 1,000 different directions.
It's time to rebuild those towers.
How can we sit here and talk about rebuilding?
The terrorists
on this hallowed ground.
We will rebuild New York City.
Please take your seats because the real work is about to begin.
What you are about to do this morning is most difficult of all.
The events of 9/11 call us all to action, to strengthen the voice of free people here and free people all around the globe.
You bring 5,000 New Yorkers and you say, what should we do in downtown Manhattan?
It's not how we normally do things, right? It's not how things are done.
What would you expect? Food fights, maybe even a fist fight? But what happened was democracy.
And guess what? It was beautiful.
Yep.
Never.
That sounded great.
Ever.
But down here in the article, it mentions, if I highlighted the right article. Nope, not that one. Somewhere in here, it says that they requested that they not rebuild the original towers and that there was no intention to. But then, if anybody remembers Larry Silverstein saying that he had the plans for the new World Trade Center 7 in April of 2000. How is that possible? And there's a lot of pictures, I wish I had queued them up as well, where you can see the shell of World Trade Center 7 completely erected, and they're still cleaning up Ground Zero. So it was well underway before the cleanup was even completed. And they did eventually rebuild a new World Trade Center 1, not the former one, but a new one. And now World Trade Center 2, groundbreaking is supposed to happen. So everything they didn't want is happening.
I'm just going to say, I mean, I don't know what, how these people trended in their thoughts, but it's very hard to imagine that it was a democratic decision to rebuild the towers. I'm thinking that's the last thing they would have wanted.
But I remember most of...
So I think it may have been just for show and just to kind of like give them a little pat on the back and say, yeah, we're going to take your opinion into account. But anyways.
Next news story. This one's a little rattling. And this is the way things are going to happen as we ramp up to the 25th anniversary. This is from Fire Rescue 1, 9/11 Conspiracy Theories, How to Respectfully Respond to Claims. First responders can be a trusted voices separating fact from fiction while keeping the focus on evidence and remembrance. And it gives a whole bunch of things about, not engaging in confrontation, understanding why the towers collapsed. It says here, one of the most common conspiracy claims is that the Twin Towers could not have collapsed solely because of aircraft impacts and resulting fires, which is a fact, by the way. It says the aircraft strikes severed columns, damaged fireproofing, and caused widespread structural damage. The subsequent fires burned across multiple floors, weakening steel components and creating conditions that exceeded what the buildings were designed to withstand. I'm going to play a clip from Massimo Mazzucco's New Pearl Harbor, where he refutes that. Here we go. It's a minute long.
The Virendeel trusses would be so effective, according to the engineers' calculations, that all the columns on one side of a tower could be cut, as well as the two corners and several columns on the adjacent sides, and the tower would still be strong enough to withstand a 100-mile-per-hour wind. John Skilling, the structural engineer who designed the Twin Towers, stated, "Live loads on these perimeter columns can be increased more than 2,000% before failure occurs." In particular, the Twin Towers were designed to sustain the impact of a large airliner traveling at 600 miles per hour and still remain standing. Interviewed in 1993 by the Seattle Times, John Skilling stated, "We looked at every possible thing we could think of that could happen to the buildings, even to the extent of an airplane hitting the side. Our analysis indicated the biggest problem would be the fact that all the fuel from the airplane would dump into the building. There would be a horrendous fire, a lot of people would be killed, the building structure would still be there." And it was. After the impacts, both towers remained standing, showing no major effect on their stability.
Yep. And also this little clip here. Oh, whoops, I got ahead of myself. Later on, they go down further. Why the collapses look different than many expected. Addressing World Trade Center 7. And the discussion on, why that couldn't happen. One of the statements here was really striking. Where did it go? I can't find it, and I'm not going to search for it. But my question back to anybody that wants to try to belittle us, calling us conspiracy theorists or whatnot, ask them plainly, why do you trust a report that on the cover shows a model that they refuse to release because of national security concerns, and the model on the cover doesn't even match reality? And then on top of that, they say, now I'm confusing myself. Don't listen to a university study that says it's impossible for fire to cause that to happen, whereas this university study does supply their models and data for you to review. So it's just striking. Anyways, that's that out there. I'm going to rate a nice response, not an ignorant one, just a nice, firm, respectful response to fire rescue. If anybody wants to help me on that, go to firerescue1.com. And again, I'll put that in the show notes.
Has anybody suggested to Raul to send a rebuttal to that?
That's a great idea, and we'll do that. Yes.
Yeah.
Whoops, sorry.
Chris is on the call too, and he might want. Chris is very good at writing letters.
And Chris, maybe
Christopher
together.
Joya.
A joint.
If he's still here,
yeah, he's there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, there's that one. Thank you, Barb, for that. And next one, Homeland Security today launches, this is last Tuesday, launches their National America After 9/11 History Curriculum. Oh boy. As the nation marks the 25th anniversary of the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks, Homeland Security today launched the America After 9/11 Curriculum, an unprecedented educational initiative designed to preserve the firsthand experiences of the leaders, first responders, law enforcement, public servants, policymakers, and private sector professionals who built America's Homeland Security enterprise. Designed for senior high school students, universities, civic organizations, and lifelong learners, the curriculum recognizes a profound reality. Many of today's students were not even born on September 11th. They had never known a world without the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the Transportation Security Administration, terrorism, fusion centers, intelligence sharing are many of the security measures that have become part of everyday life. To them, these institutions have always existed. The curriculum addresses the why of the architecture built in response to 9/11 through the recorded presentations by the early leaders responding to the 9/11 attacks. The program is designed to provide an enduring educational resource and help students understand not only what happened on September 11th, but how the attacks transformed America and continue to influence Homeland Security today. And the part that really struck me there is that many people have not were not even born on September 11th and have not known a world without that. And it goes back to that first article where he said that millions of people have not lived through it. So, yeah, they're going to make sure that they keep people educated on the official narrative, of course. And we ran up into the 5:20, so I'd like to just take a moment quickly for a short prayer. This is the time when Building 7 fell. Just want to take a few seconds here, just prayer for justice. So if you just join me for a moment. Lord, we come to you as we approach these weeks leading up to 9/11. Mainstream media, anybody that just for whatever reasons doesn't want the official story out, but wants to continue this cover up. I just pray that you would help us in our efforts to tackle that problem, that the voices of people that are truly concerned and want to see justice are heard, that we would soften the hearts and minds of those out there that have not even heard of this yet, and that we would be able to see justice in our lifetime. I just ask for a prayer of protection and guidance as we continue in these next weeks. In your name, amen. Thank you. All right. Next news story. I got a hand up, though. Ellie, what do you got real quick?
Oh, no, mine can wait until you're done with this news stories.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Almost done. This is a local story for people in North Carolina, or if anybody knows anybody in North Carolina. There is a 9/11 roundtable to examine the 2001 attacks and their implications. It says here in Leland, North Carolina, the community is invited to participate in a 9/11 Remembrance Roundtable in Leland next month. According to organizers, the discussion will highlight the events of September 11th and their continuing implications. The roundtable is scheduled for September 11th from 9 to 11 a.m. in Blossom's Restaurant in Leland. So you can also join in Zoom. Interesting. But I'll be busy. Next. This wasn't really a news story, but I'll just mention it. I'm into graffiti a little bit, legal graffiti. There's legal walls in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh. I joined a group that's graffiti for beginners and shared my 9/11 stuff with them. And mostly good responses, a few negative responses. But one guy said to me, you need to check out a group called Indecline. And it brought me onto this Nadya lady, The Art of Protest. I guess Indecline did this documentary. If you haven't seen it, it looks really good. It's Indecline's Art of the Protest movie. There's a trailer. They were the ones behind the big Trump statues that were naked in Los Angeles, New York. She says it's basically the Margaret Mead quote. When you just have a small group of people with not a whole lot of influence, there's things you can do to garner the attention of the media at large. And they did a great job with this statue because it made national news. And good story. So check them out. Indecline. Back to normal news or 9/11 news. I'm getting skipped around here. Let's see. Let's go with this. Turning the Tide. We are getting into the final stages of getting things set up for the speakers and whatnot. If you haven't seen it, check out Turning the Tide, 911.org.
I wanted to give an update on the speakers.
Let's do that after I show. We just finally got, if anybody knows Timeline Junkie, he helped us out with a promo video. This is AI. I'm just going to play it. And here we go.
Mr. Silverstein?
What is it?
You might want to see this. There's a conference happening.
A conference? Why the heck do I care?
You said you wanted notified of anything about 9/11 after you saw that video, so I figured you'd want to know.
Oh, brother, here we go again.
It's called Turning the Tide. It says here, 4 days of presentations, discussions, networking, and action marking the 25th anniversary of 9/11.
I knew the anniversary wasn't going to be easy, but this...
It's from September 10th through the 13th right here in New York. It seems like a collection of experts that don't believe the official story all in one place.
A bunch of crackpot, tinfoil hat people. Who cares what they have to say anyway, right?
It doesn't seem like it. They've got some pretty important speakers.
Oh, yeah? Like who?
Jimmy Dore, Dennis Kucinich, James Corbett, Brett Weinstein, and that's not even half of them.
Oh.
There's first responders, government whistleblowers, families of the victims,
come on.
authors, filmmakers.
This is pretty serious.
I think even the timeline junkie guy who made that video you hate.
What? This is insane. At least they don't have like a iconic rock star speaking or something.
Well, Roger Waters from Pink Floyd will be there as well.
Shit! This is not good, Debbie.
Would you like me to buy some tickets on their website?
Ooh.
Maybe you could talk to them and clear some things up?
Oh, no, I can't. I have a dermatologist.
Am I the only one not seeing?
Can't miss.
Oh, so, your dermatologist appointment lasts 4 days?
What's with all the questions, Debbie? You're starting to sound like them.
Yeah, Barb, it must have just been you. I think everybody else can hear. If anybody has bought tickets and wants to get going to that, turningthetide911.org, grab the tickets. You almost squashed the punchline there, Barb, but hopefully you get the audio figured out.
Sorry.
All good. Sandra, you were going to say.
I was just going to go over it because, and forgive me, I'm not always 100% sure of who we confirmed the week before and who we had to check with Gene. Said, did we talk about Willie Rodriguez yet?
Ah, yes.
So yes, Willie Rodriguez is in. Judging, well, he's doing his own movie. He's going to want to play, I believe, the trailer to his new movie at our conference. And so he accepted to appear. From what his posts say, he's basically he says it's his only appearance aside from media interviews that he's going to be doing, which of course he's going to be doing them. But so yeah, very special to have him. He's a hero for good reasons.
we probably don't have Richard that was a highly confidential trailer. We're not allowed to share that trailer, correct? Yet?
No.
That's a good question. I think that's correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Well, this is being recorded also, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a 4-minute trailer. The first 2 minutes give his background, and the next 2 minutes are everything we all know. In the basement, explosions, like everything. The last man out under the fire truck.
Yeah.
So if you want to pause the recording, I think we could do that.
No, there's people who record on their phones and stuff like that. Yeah. There's not doing that.
I saw it on YouTube today in the morning.
Really?
What?
Yeah. I played Lucky Larry. I played Lucky Larry.
No, not Lucky Larry. William
I
Rodriguez
played the Lucky Larry, and then the next video that came up was the promo.
Oh, sorry.
And it was even better, actually. There were some mistakes in that.
You mean Willie Rodriguez's promo, Ross?
Right there.
No, I mean the Lucky Larry.
Oh yeah,
okay,
we're talking
about Willie Rodriguez's film.
Yes,
I thought you were talking about the Lucky Larry one that we just showed.
No.
Talking about Willie. So Willie's in, which is great because he's, he's got great presence and personality, and he's going to find people. Other people we confirmed, and I don't think we spoke about this last week either. We had a bit of a hard time narrowing down someone to talk about Charlie Kirk on September the 10th, considering that it was the 1-year anniversary of his death. And, we had, obviously, Ian Carroll was our first choice. He couldn't, he had actually accepted to come, couldn't make it, can't do it due to health reasons. Candace obviously is going to have other things to do on the 10th, we're sure. We reached out to Baron Coleman?
Yes.
And he had a conflict of timing, couldn't do it either. Long story short, we reached out to James Lee, and he accepted. And so it's going to be very, how should I say, neutral presentation of what he knows. It's not going to be slanted any which way. He'll just, I guess, present most of the compelling evidence and I guess say what he says and do what he does. I'm sure it'll be interesting. Other people have confirmed Richard Patterson. He's one of the firefighter chief FDNY. People from New York. He was on the fence for a very long time, whether or not he wanted to do this. He's part of Richard's series, Crime Scene to Courtroom, one of the important witnesses.
Mm-hmm.
But he agreed to come, and we're super grateful to have him there. very well spoken, very authentic, cares very much about the truth. So we've got Derek Brose confirmed to speak also on there's a couple of subjects out there. It'll be under False Flag Day on the 13th. And he's got like 3 main things that he usually delves into. And we think, and don't take my word for it because that could change, but that he will address the deep layers of the power structure. Who are they? Who are they out there? And he's been working on this for like 20 years. So he's got a lot to say, and that'll be super interesting. For our early panel group, early 9/11 years panel group, we got confirmation from Les Jameson. He was on the fence also because he's actually preparing to move to South America right around the corner. And he wasn't sure that he'd be able to commit and be able to pull this off. But he ended up letting us know, yeah, he goes, if you guys still want me, I'm in, which is great because he really was one of the earliest. He was one of the most persistent, and he's from New York. The other ones include people who are not from New York, but who are also very involved. So we've got Barb, who's on the call. We've got Carol Brouillet, who's on the call, both on the West Coast. And we've got, so Phil Restino had to bow out. And we've got, oh my God, who am I missing?
Barbara?
Well, no, Mike
Berger.
Berger. Mike Berger's going to have his own section. Then he's going to join the panel to discuss. So he's one of the early, apparently not co-founder, but basically he's been running the 911truth.org site ever since then. We also, I think, didn't mention Richard Ellifritz. He's one of our renowned professors, sociology professors, who always speaks unbelievably eloquently about whatever subject he presents. Apparently he's done with being a professor. He's hanging up his professor credentials and making a complete change in career.
Yes.
So anyways, he'll be there.
Yep. So some of you might have seen me chatting to Willie asking if I could play the trailer. He said, not yet. We're putting out a new recut. I'll keep you updated. So I can't play it, but it's looking good. So that's great to have Willie there. And thank you, Mike, for the update.
If he's doing a recut, maybe he can take out the magic tricks at the beginning.
I'm not going to ask. Yeah.
I know we can't.
All right, so that's Turning the Tide. What else do we have on Turning the Tide here? That was it. Boston 9/11 Truth just had Andrew Teese. Unfortunately, we couldn't make it. Author from the UK, wrote a 9/11 book. And Al or Sue, if you're here, if you want to give us a recap, or if anybody was here for that call, how that went.
It went really well. A lot of people aren't familiar with Andrew Teese. He's rather new on the scene. And he's got a really good perspective. He's quite a gentleman. And I do recommend that you check it out. He's writing a new book on 9/11. He's got a publisher already, even though he hasn't completed the book. So we'll look forward to it in 2027.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, the funny thing, we were
pages according to what he was saying.
What's
that, Al?
He said it's 500 pages according to what he was.
Man, as big as the 9/11 Commission report.
No kidding.
he lives just a few blocks down from Paul Kelly. We wanted to connect them at one point, and because he's a Brit, the other one's a Brit. We knew they were in the general area. I was like, hey, you're just a few blocks from me. So
I guess they went and had a pint at the pub. So that's cool.
Yeah, they've been in touch, and he's also been in touch with Jerry, I understand.
Cool.
So that's, I'm looking forward to meeting him in person sometime. He seems like a really nice guy.
Yeah,
he
very
did
much so.
release his first draft chapter on Substack, and that's what caught my attention to invite him. Because at first I was thinking, oh my God, this is the official story. But that's his approach. And which is really good, because we don't want to just preach to the choir. We want to get people who believe the official story to take a look at this. And that's what he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to second that. He starts from the beginning, the initial impact of the official story, and he goes into that at quite a bit of length. And then just very subtly and very, thoughtfully, he starts to kind of unravel that. So even in the first chapter, if that's what's now available. Anyway, I think it's quite a good approach, because it is going to, maybe for people who want to look. Anyway, as you say, he's a real gentleman. He has very little ego, and he's not into it for being right and all of that. So,
yeah.
Very
And
good.
what is also impressive, he's a newbie. It took him a long time to take a look at this, being an architect.
Exactly. Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with being a newbie.
No.
Yeah.
No, because why else are we doing this?
Exactly.
The capacity to change your mind is really one of the key foundational.
Seriously.
And he gets how important this is 25 years later, that he's dropped another book that he was working on to do this instead.
Yeah.
Wasn't his mother instrumental in helping him?
Yes.
Did I hear that right?
Yeah, she was his main editor.
Oh, nice.
Who? Who?
His mother.
Oh, yeah.
Just for the record, guys, Jerry isn't a Brit, he's a Scot, and there's a huge difference.
Absolutely. So that's what I had for 9/11 news, corporate and 9/11 truth movement level. The table's open. Craig, also any updates on Checkpoint 25 going on?
Yeah, thanks. Well, unfortunately, Stephen Jones is not going to be appearing. Very disappointed in that. I know he has some, I know his wife has a health issue that he's sort of dealing with, but I certainly hope that's the only reason. I had to wonder when it sort of, I didn't even realize at first that he had written to Andy on a kind of one of his lesser used email addresses. And so Andy and I didn't realize that he had actually sent that until, well after he did it, but it was fairly quickly after he originally consented. So I'm really hoping that nobody, gave him a phone call and encouraged him not to.
Right.
Yeah. Well, see, I mean, he's been pretty adamant with us that he would no longer get involved with anything. And I wanted to get him to promise that if Tucker ever wanted to apologize to him for the way he treated him 20 years ago, would he then accept a public invitation? And he couldn't even commit to that.
Well, actually, I emailed him directly. I was trying to find the email, and he said, after talking to his wife, even if Tucker Carlson offered to apologize and have him back on, he wouldn't do it. So that was a while ago.
Yeah. Well, anyway, other than that, I guess I'll update you on who I can't remember if there have been people added since I last, because I wasn't able to be here last week. My sister was getting married, so
congratulations!
Wow.
So, no, she's not 40 years younger than me. Just to let you know, this is a second marriage, and anyway, not that anybody cares, but yeah. So we've got. Just to remind anybody, and I would really appreciate it. I just before I kind of get into listing the names again, I would appreciate any help anybody was willing to give in publicizing this on social media. There has been like very little, if any, up to now. I know everybody's busy with other things, but anyway, it would certainly be helpful. But there's lots of time left to do that, so that's okay. But anyway, I will just sort of remind people that we have James Corbett, we have Jimmy Dore, we also have Derek Brose and his sort of buddy Ryan Christian, who's the Last American Vagabond website, and Brose writes for that as well as his own thing. So I'm really, Cheryl Curtis is going to interview those two together. So that I'm really looking forward to watching that. We're also going to have, as I've said before, Nikki Broderick, who's Roland Angle's widow, along with Clark Rector. They're both involved in book projects. And just by coincidence, I happen to be involved in both of them too. But I assure you that's not the reason we invited them. But anyway, we also have Barry Zwicker and R.B. Ham. R.B. Ham, for those of you who don't know, does a great podcast from Saskatchewan, Canada, called Beyond the Pale. And Barry Zwicker used to live in Saskatchewan, so that'll be our all Canadian session. We have Massimo Mizuko, and he's also dealing with a health issue of a family member. So we're a little bit, we're hopeful that this is going to work out, but there's no, absolute guarantee. I'll also be talking to Andy Steele, is kind of doing all the behind the scenes technical stuff, which is the only reason that this could ever come off, to be honest with you. If it was up to me, then, we'd be in trouble. But anyway, so I'll be talking to Andy too. And Andy's also got some, I won't get into detail explaining what they are, but he's got a series of animated short films. If you all might recall, Andy did the graphic novel Born on 9/11, which was quite awesome. And so he's using those talents to sort of create a series of shorts that are going to be used kind of in between the different sessions of the conference. So I think that's going to be really cool. And he's got a really cool kind of opening sequence that he's getting ready for us. And let me just see who I've left out here. We're gonna have a conversation about the Pentagon, not laying out all the evidence like in previous kind of Zoom calls and things, but more of a discussion of the topic, kind of an overview about why it's important and kind of what role that might play in the truth movement. And that's going to involve Sheila Casey, Adam Ruff, Xander Arena, and myself. So that'll be the four of us. And let me just see if I've forgotten anybody. Oh, yeah. And also Cheryl will be talking to Jessica Coco and Eric Rossi, who are going to talk about their perspective being living in Manhattan on 9/11 and what they have to share. So that's where that stands. So
thank you very much.
Yeah. Break in a quick second.
Sure.
Eric said he hasn't received a confirmation, so you might want to confirm with him so he can plan what he's going to say.
Oh, I thought he and Cheryl were in touch. So okay, I'll check with Cheryl, but she told me she was waiting for confirmation on a particular date, so I'll see where that stands.
Thank you. He just give him a yes. Thanks.
Oh yeah. Oh, I didn't. Okay. Yeah, I thought that was already done, but we'll definitely nail that down.
He could have missed the email. I don't know.
Possible.
I'm just sharing. Yeah. Thanks.
No, it's good to know. I appreciate it.
Thank you,
Deborah.
Thank you, Craig. And I did find this email real quick. It was Professor Jones back in 23, talking about Tucker has apologized for being dismissive of people who question 9/11. And would you accept an invitation if he extended one? And long story short, my wife read the above email sequence and expressed her strong disapproval of my doing this. Our journey through life is private, so I will not discuss her detailed reasons, but suffice to say that she disapproves. And that ends this thread for me. But again, thank you for your interest. Hopefully Richard or someone may be so inclined. So unfortunately, that's where that was. That was back in, when did that email? I also want to mention coming up that week, September 8th at the Grand Lakes Theater. I see Carol's with us. The Northern California 9/11 Truth Alliance will be doing their annual film festival. That'll be on Tuesday, September 8th, again at the Grand Lakes Theater. And you want to give us an update on that, Carol, with anything?
I'm hoping that it'll happen. The theater was maybe going to be sold, but we got a confirmation that we could have it. And then, of course, after I printed all the materials, we had to change the date. And so I'm still kind of like, oh, maybe it'll happen. I hope it'll happen, but you never know if it's going to happen or not. But we are planning on doing it. We're working on editing the films, but I think it's going to be a small event. It's not going to be live streamed since Alan Rees passed away. but we are dedicating it to Kyle Hens.
Very good. Thank you. And thank you for continuing the fight. All right.
On the West Coast.
Let's go to the hands that are up. Ross?
Yeah, first I got to give a general apology for just over the whole time with them, and that is that one of the downsides of being a hardcore activist, you don't always have a good internet connection.
Yeah.
So I've listened to a lot of my recordings that have been done over whenever I speak on various programs, and a lot of times it really is hard to understand what I'm talking about. The connection is so bad. And again, I got out of sync today with this comment about the Lucky Larry promo because I've been dropped twice on this call already, not by you guys, obviously, but
right.
Anyhow, so I apologize over the years. That's a downside of being a hardcore. You don't buy or pay for really high-end internet when you take my type of approach.
All good.
Which is, of course, different from most people on this call, but
maybe you visit the coffee shops like Barb does. I don't know.
Yeah, but those are not so good either. But
okay.
Yeah, I'm not quite that into it. But I like to be at home when I'm talking about this stuff. But anyhow, I want to, and also want to just firstly, I want to talk about the conference coming up, the big one. I'm just so happy to hear that also with Craig McKee that he's got Derek Bros. I mean, I was going to suggest that, and I thought, no, we're going to talk to a guy like Derek Bros. Or maybe he's not going to want to talk to them. So I'm so happy to hear that he's going to be involved on a number of levels, it sounds like now. And also I was like, how can this conference be worth anything to me anyway, if Les Jameson isn't there? And so I'm really happy to see, because I've never gotten a good story about Les. I know why he's kind of not as active anymore, but man, there must be something wrong. How can he not be part of this conference? So I'm really glad to hear that. A lot more confidence in what you guys are doing based on those two things. I mean, that's really huge, I think, in terms of your, the broad scope of it for you. But I do want to bring up a serious point now, which is that I think at this 25th anniversary, more than any of the other ones, we as the Truth Movement are much more at risk of a false flag status quo operation. And I'm not talking about like last few times we did these conferences here in New York. We hired security. It was part of that. And, the worst thing we had happen was a homeless guy coming in off the street, giving people problems. But, I'm talking about something very, very serious. It's potentially, I see potential to have happen this year for us. And that is because too, it is this 25th anniversary. The status quo is on notice, and more so than ever with all the stuff that you guys are doing and all we've all been doing. Bottom line is too, the year before, what happened to us? What happened to turning the tide last time? Well, Charlie Kirk. That happened the day before. Okay, so that was kind of like a shot over the bow, in a lot of ways. But I see that it's going to be directed. They've got a problem with 9/11, and they've had that problem since they did it. It was an overreach, and everybody, including people that were not born on that day, know it. It was an overreach by the society status quo, and they've got a problem. They've got a cancer. Right now, what they really need and what I think will be willing to do, and this is the perfect time to do it, is an invasive surgery on the cancer. Now, the cancer, that's the truthers, okay? So we have to be really, I don't think there's anything we can do about it per se, because if it happens, like it might happen, it's going to be too big for us to do anything about. But I do think we should be aware of it. I know I'm going to be to ground zero, which is one of the target areas where they're going to be maybe wanting to do one of these things. Obviously, the conference. I think those are the two target areas. I'm not sure peripheral conferences would be big enough of a venue to get the appropriate attention that they would want to divert. So we're going to be at ground zero. You guys are going to get there at the conference. And those are the two areas we really have to do. Be as vigilant as we can. Don't be, we're going to do what we're going to do. We're not doing anything illegal. And there's one thing we truthers are on all levels of it, is that we're about our right to live in peace and dignity. With peace and dignity in the way we live and the way we expect our fellow people to live. Peace and dignity, and none of these lies that are contrary to that mess. So we're not about whatever a false flag event might be characterized as, but they're going to be going to look for this cancer to take it out. And this is the perfect opportunity. I don't know what they could do. We can't stop it, whatever they're going to do. Just everybody keep doing what you're doing, keep being who you are, and let's everybody have each other's back, okay? Whoever, if we're not, whatever part of this we're involved in, we're not involved in, whatever levels, all have each other's back. Don't take the story, oh, we heard of this and that about somebody in the movement, no. We got each other's back. I just wanted.
Well, trust me, it's been addressed.
So yeah, I was trying to find a way to get into that. I do want to express that this has been on my mind for a little bit, and I brought it up in the last planning call that we had. We did find out we're going to have at least a half a dozen security guards at the event. There's a metal detector, and I will be calling the NYPD, not saying that we've received an active threat, but that if they could have somebody present at or outside of the venue. This is a concern. We have a couple very high profile people speaking. For those of you who know, I think it's September 8th or 9th starts the UN convention in the city, and Benjamin Netanyahu is supposed to be coming in towards the end of that, which is around the 22nd. So New York's gonna be very lively this 25th anniversary. And yeah, we should all just keep our wits about us.
Yeah, well, help us little guys out that are going to be at ground zero. Sounds like we're the ones that are going to be at the biggest risk, because it sounds like you've got it covered on the larger scale end of it. New York Police. Yeah.
Thank you, Ross. And it was a pretty good connection. You cut out a little bit, but that was good overall. Thank you. Mikey P. He's finding the mute button. Maybe Mikey Prazo.
Hello.
There you are.
Greetings from Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah.
Are you in Pittsburgh?
Yep. This second. Wow. I'm on the 376 right now.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
I've never driven on this. I'm trying to make my way back to the turnpike.
Watch the Squirrel Hill Tunnel. Yeah.
No, totally. Yeah, actually, I've been thinking about that too pretty heavily. What Ross said, like, he's got a good point, man. Like, we're sitting ducks. People hate us, not like, you know what I'm talking about. Like the general population hates us, not us hating each other, so I don't know what the open carry laws, if any, in New York are. I don't think they have any, but that would be a wonderful day if they allowed that, because that would be a good thing.
Yeah, they don't.
They don't. No, apparently they have one of the strictest gun laws at all anywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Oh, it's funny how the bad guys always seem to have the guns, though. Anyway, I digress.
Anything else, Brad?
No, just greetings from Pittsburgh.
Good to well, glad you're here. Sorry we couldn't get together.
Safe driving.
Safe driving, yeah. At least you're not pulling a Ranger on the back of your flatbed, so that's good.
Yeah, we need to talk about that, though. Hit me up after the call.
I will do. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Carol.
Well, both Barry and I were targeted when Barry came out to host The Great Conspiracy, the 9/11 news special you never saw. But we were just intimidated, and it was the police that pulled me and my son over and pointed their guns at us. And and they also intercepted all the materials that Barry had sent me.
Wow.
And they were taken at the border and replaced with hardback books in Russian, which was Paradise Lost. And I think it was just to frighten and intimidate us and shut us up.
When you say Barry, it's Barry Zwicker?
Barry Zwicker.
Okay.
Yeah. This was like in 2005.
Oh, wow.
And, but when I was, I don't know whether it was one of the organizing meetings, but I did hear that there was a big 9/11 Truth Conference in Los Angeles, I think, that I didn't attend, but everybody got sick from something. And I thought, well, maybe we should be really careful about the caters and if we're all eating together, because, something could happen. But I'm not particularly worried about that. What I did really want to raise us. My biggest concern that happened over this weekend was I put a link in the chat, was looking at the continuing cover up over COVID and Ron Johnson's role in it. Because I always was thinking, oh, Ron Johnson, he was so courageous, he was so heroic. And then what I found out is in actuality, he's more of a gatekeeper, and he sat on a lot of the key information regarding the harms about COVID-19, and might actually have been able to help prevent all the madness and all the craziness and all the forced injections and the whole. I'd say 9/11 was bad, but in some ways the COVID hoax was about 10 times worse in the health consequences and the harm that it caused. And so I'm worried about Ron Johnson and whether he's going to hold hearings or hold a cover-up. Like, we've had enough cover-ups. I mean, we keep working really hard, and this is sort of the pattern. I think Richard Ellifritz goes into it, the pattern of social movements. As soon as it gets big enough and you sort of force some sort of revelation or commission, then it always gets co-opted, and then people think, oh, well, we took care of that and move on. And this is my deepest concern over what are our goals for this conference.
Carol,
is our goal.
Could you clarify, please? Did I hear you correctly that you have a source or some claim that Ron Johnson is part of the COVID cover-up?
Yeah, I just put it in the chat. Didn't you see it, the link? But David Martin spoke out. He did an interview with Jimmy Dore just a few days ago.
Okay.
And he brought Ron Johnson all this damning information, prior to the rollout. And Ron Johnson sat on it. He didn't do anything. I think Rand Paul was the same scenario. And then when Ron Johnson held those hearings that were so powerful, which I was so impressed by, with all the people speaking out about the harms of the COVID, David Martin was not allowed in the room. And I don't know if y'all are familiar or not with David's work, but he's one of the few people who actually was invited to participate in the whole 9/11 plot and wrote about it.
Coup de 12. Yep.
Yeah.
It's very cryptic. It's not overtly obvious. And Sandra tried to read it, and
I had trouble reading it.
I met David over a decade ago, and I interviewed him a couple times on Coup de 12 on my radio show. And I don't know precisely where what part of this is real and what part of it is fiction. And I do know he was tortured, and that he probably isn't at liberty to talk and hand out names, but I think he knows what he's talking about.
I just found it difficult to read because there are many, many, many players. He introduces many people with many names, but he doesn't develop their character enough that you can retain what name is associated with what, with what action, with whatever, with what character traits and so on and so forth. That's where I get lost. So maybe if I made a stronger effort to adjust to that, it might stick. But from a writer's perspective, a writer's perspective, it's not great. Maybe it contains a lot of good information, and I need to just get over that and just keep reading. But I'm seeing Richard's reaction in part to what you're saying, because this whole report that the five and other people beyond them have been working on for months now is going to Ron Johnson. He's the target receptor.
Right.
So I don't know, Richard, if you want to address what Carol just said or ask her questions.
We don't know if there's going to be hearings yet or not either. He responds to pressure, and there was no pressure when David Martin approached him, back in 2020, 2021, it would be suicide for Ron to take it on then. But after that, the political scene and the information changed, so it was safe for him to come out. He's sort of come out on 9/11 in his interviews, and that's why he encouraged us publicly at the last conference to put our evidence together, which we're doing. But he's told us that we won't be able to do hearings this year. So, he's still doing COVID hearings, and he says that would distract quite a bit from what he's doing still with that. So we're kind of pushed off to next year, and so we're which time we needed to put the best report together for the rest of the year.
Yep. And I just wanted to share something. This was a premonition, if you will. If everybody remembers Beverly Eckert, she wrote this fantastic piece in the USA Today called "My Silence Cannot Be Bought." And this quote just rings so true. She said back then in 2003, if we don't get answers to what went wrong, there will be a next time. And instead of 3,000 dead, it will be 10,000. What will Congress do then? And she couldn't know that COVID was going to happen and the whole pandemic thing. And it was way more than 10,000 people. But she was on something. And I'll put the link in the show notes. There's the archive at USA Today of the entire article or the piece that she put out where she did not accept the Victims Compensation Fund so that she could retain her right to sue. So later on, she died, unfortunately, but she was just
Well, she was murdered in a plane.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, by all accounts. She'll be part of our tribute video at the conference, one of those that will be acknowledged for their activism and their speaking out and their courage.
And we certainly do hope Ron Johnson will go on, but you never know. Whoops, I didn't mean to click on that. Whoops. There's questions about Ron. Anyways, we'll leave it at that.
Didn't even stay up long enough for anyone to see.
Let's go to David with the hands up.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Great. I just want to thank the people who did answer my request last week to put very concise, easy to prove pieces of evidence that there was a false flag in the chat. Gene will now send it to me, but I hadn't gotten it yet. If you have anything more to say. In general, my criticism of the movement is that we use many too many words to say anything. And if you have something concise to say about and easy to prove, I'd appreciate it. I have a quick little anecdote from when Wayne Costi paid for me to come to New York for the civil engineers were having their national convention, and I was handing out flyers, and two very tiny, shorter than me, young women approached me, and I said, "Are you folks civil engineers?" And they said, "We'd like to be." And I said, "Well, let's do the hypothetical situation. Let's say a plane hits the towers, and instead of mangling 5 floors like it did, those 5 floors disappeared, and the floors above begin to fall. And they accelerate, but they don't accelerate very long because they hit the floors below, and they begin to crush the floors below, but they don't crush all the floors all the way to the ground. Do you agree?" And they both said, "Yes, we agree." I say, "Well, nobody in there my age agrees."
Excellent.
But instead of giving them the conclusion, why don't you just ask them in your mind what would happen under the circumstance instead of like leading them, to a point of agreement? Do you agree? That's nudging people. Just ask them the question, see what they say.
That's not bad, except I don't know their names, and I'm never sure I'll never see them again.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I'm just saying in general, given the chance to ask that question.
Sure. Yeah.
Should either come to a rest or fall off to the side. Definitely would not. Yeah. Anyway, thank you, David. Very good. And just so everybody knows, Rumble made a change in their how they allow uploads to go. So I'm limited to 5,000 characters in my description. So I can't put the whole chat in the description now. So if anybody wants that, just email me, contact@911warroom.com, and I'll send them to you. And David, I'll get that last week's to you as soon as I can. Thank you, sir. Go to Carl.
Yes, following up on what Carol had said. Carol, is your email available? If you could email me with your email address. My email is very simple. It's my first name and my last name @gmail.com. carlgollivan@gmail.com.
Very good.
Carol?
Yeah, I just put it in the chat.
Oh, it's in the chat? Okay. Had you followed, I spoke last week during the around the room time. I raised a rather provocative issue about whether Ron Johnson's actually unintentionally telegraphed who really, who the they is of 9/11 by the way I was handled after 6 weeks after being interviewed by his PSI staff. It still shocks me really that he went on both the Corbett Report and on Brett Weinstein's podcast and recounted the scenario of my having, he didn't say by name, in fact, but he recounted this person who was a government agent who sifted the rubble, came to him and don't cut me off, Gene, because I don't think Carol's heard this story.
I don't want to hear this again. We've all heard this story 15 times, so please get to the end.
Carol,
I did hear this story. I did hear this story.
Why would he distance himself, pretending he'd never met me, his committee never received the information, at the same time saying, hey, if you're out there, if you hear this, I'd really like to talk with you. But then when I saw him a week later at the conference, he's like, oh, your social media posts are such that we can't have anything to do with you. And those posts would be, of course, offensive to his AIPAC donors. So, end of story. I'll email you an interesting email I sent to Jimmy Dore following up on having met with him up in New York a while back. Thank you, Carol.
Thank you, Carl. Let's go to Magnus.
Maybe the speakers first, because I'm going to ask you, Gene and Sandra, if we have time for a few videos.
Sure. We'll come back to you, though.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Back to Carol.
Oh, I am concerned that the NDAA passed just like yesterday or just recently, merging the U.S. military and intelligence operation apparatus with Israel. I mean, that is a big concern of mine.
And that this thing being built under the White House is probably a data center bunker for U.S. Israeli military. That's fantastic. That's sarcasm too, by the way. Yeah. Troubling. Yep. Thank you, Carol.
Can I be heard?
Yes, you can. You're up, Barb.
Yeah, I don't see my little video thing. Can you see me? I can't. But
We
anyway.
can't see you, but we can hear you.
We see your black
Okay.
box and your name.
Okay, I didn't see the black box with my name. Okay. Anyway, it's very important for people to know this. A single senator. There's a way to stop this thing cold in its tracks. This so-called merger of the U.S. and Israeli military and intelligence procurement, which is what it's about, procurement mostly. But of course, it would go beyond that because it's going to be top secret, and how would we know? But there's a way to stop it cold in its tracks. It only takes a single senator to put what's called a hold, H-O-L-D. Senator doesn't have to say why. A single one of the 100 senators can say, I'm until there's a hold. They have to do it formally. They have to formally put in a hold. And it would be words to the effect, my hold stays until and unless the National Defense Authorization Act, NDAA, for 2027, that this section, I think it was 219 in the House. It's got a different number, I believe, in the Senate. You got to use the exact section number, but believe me, the senator will know that this section must be removed from the 2027 National Defense Authorization Act, NDAA, before any floor vote on the NDAA. And it's done. It's over.
Yep.
It only takes one. So everybody needs to be writing both of their senators.
Aye. It says here definitively the House passed its version on July 22nd, 2026. The Senate
Right.
version remains stalled after failed cloture vote on July 14th and has not passed. So yeah, everyone write your senators for what that's
But
worth.
nevertheless, Trump and people who want this to pass will put unbelievable pressure on the holdouts that caused the cloture vote, which means they needed 60 votes instead of 51. The pressure will be unbelievable and they will hold the vote again. So the senators need to be asked to simply put a hold on it.
Yeah. One of my senators is Fetterman, and that's not a good.
No, that's not a good one.
That's not a good one.
That's
Thank
a really
you, Barb.
bad one.
Yeah, it's a really bad one. Yes. Thank you. Back to Craig.
Yeah, I would ask Carol something. You mentioned on a previous episode, I think that you have some video footage from, I guess, the conference that you were talking about that has Barry Zwicker in it. And you were offering that, and I just wondered if I would love to get either copies of it or whatever it is you're willing to share, I guess. Possibly even use a clip because I'm going to be interviewing Barry in the next couple of weeks. Is that something we could maybe make an arrangement on? I'd be, if it's a question of actually physically mailing something, I definitely could make sure I cover, the postage or whatever.
Yeah, I could give you like a DVD. There's a really great clip of what Barry said at the San Francisco International Inquiry into 9/11. But we also created studios. So I have oodles of like VHS tapes with footage that includes Barry and other people. But the other one is a very nice one that you could use in your show. If you email me your address, I can send it to you.
Oh, that's very, very kind.
Carol?
Thank you very much. Appreciate
Carol,
it.
just to clarify, was that one of the events at the Herbst Theater?
Yeah, remember when Barry spoke?
Yeah.
And he said that's exactly 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and he looked at his watch afterwards because he gave a really brilliant, succinct piece. And I do think that Barry was the first televised questioning of 9/11.
I agree.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything
he
else, Craig?
says, I'm just going to say that he, as far as Barry's aware, he hasn't found anybody that contradicts this, but he was the first person anywhere in the world on a national television of any country to come out and say that 9/11 was a false flag.
Yeah, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation.
Yeah. Well, it was, I don't know if it was the CBC, but it was because he had a show on a network called Vision TV up in Canada. I think it might have been on that, but I could be corrected, I suppose.
Okay, well, I could too.
Yeah.
Nice. And I just want to see real quick. You said I want to see who's still the most popular video on C-SPAN. Let's see, videos sorted by most popular. Let's go down to most views. Here we go. There it is. Still, Richard's still at the top of the list.
Yay!
You don't have. Unfortunately, you have to click on each one to see how many votes they are. Let's see. Does it say here? It used to say, and I don't see it anymore. That's a shame. They hide the numbers so you can't see the numbers. But yeah, what's funny is in that screen was that Trump was number 2, but now he got passed by Nancy Pelosi. Wow, Trump dropped off the list. He's not even in the top 7.
Richard for president.
Right.
Andy Steele deserves credit for Richard getting in that position.
No, he did a lot of work for that. He worked his ass off.
Who's that, Andy?
Getting like 24 volunteers to call in to C-SPAN and hassle them, and it worked.
Wow. Very good.
Yeah.
That's a classic, and it's still carrying on. That's fantastic. Thank you, Craig.
Yep. Thanks.
Ross.
Yeah, just three quick comments. Back to the security issue, I saw Chris Joy and said, right, Ross, that's exactly right. We can't trust anyone. But he said, but don't worry about ground zero because it's protected, it's overprotected. You don't have to worry about ground zero. I think he's wrong about that. I'd rather be up where you guys are with the New York City police watching me than I would down at ground zero where, the Port Authority is watching me, the Port Authority police. And the thing about that ground zero, it's a perfect fertile ground for a lie hop. If you're ever going to do a lie hop of any scale at any time to have an effect in close to 9/11, it would be this 25th anniversary down at ground zero. So it's a lie hop opportunity. I do not trust the Port Authority police, and especially on that day. And so I'd say that. Then I want to go to Craig McKee. I forgot to mention, hey, you've got, I think, 3 New Yorkers now on your event. Please ask them without prompting them. Just say, what were your experiences just the days shortly after 9/11? City feel like? If you can ask them that question, because again, that's one of the key evidential pieces is smell around the city and just in the air quality. So they'll bring that up if they're really New Yorkers that were really down there still after the day, shortly afterwards, and even 2 months afterwards. They'll bring up the smell. They'll bring up the air quality. So please do that as part of the brief.
Yeah.
And
good idea.
He'll be there. He'll be. I'm not sure he wasn't in New York for the event, but anyhow, thank you for doing that. And then lastly, I want to talk about the conference in terms of, I'm going to just say it. I won't explain myself. If you want me to explain myself, then that'll take more time, and just you tell me. You got to ditch Trump. You got to ditch Johnson. Okay, those are 2 things. Now, saying I was on board with you guys, with Larry Johnson, and it's worth the try, and Trump, and it's worth the try. Okay, that to me has changed, and I now say ditch Trump and ditch Johnson. However, Johnson may give some of the people on this think, well, it's good if we have an op-ed type of piece in the New York Times. That would be enough for me for 9/11 Truth. Johnson might just offer something like that, an op-ed about World Trade Center 7. He'll do for the New York Times. I think that's as far as he'll ever go, and that would be a good positive thing, but that's as far as he'll ever go. That would be positive. If we get Trump in there, I'm not going to explain myself, but if we get Trump in there, that'll be a net negative, a big one for the truth movement. So, all right. And then I want to monitor. All right. Lucky Larry, that's great that you're using that platform. I think you should be qualifying that. Like, we're not endorsing this as this is what happened. But and we could talk a lot, and I think we should talk a lot more about Lucky Larry, that series, and then the monitoring the situation that Sandra put up by the other people. I think those are very important youth-oriented videos that we really need to participate in, but also back away from certain parts of it. All right, that's all I'm going to say for now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You got something?
Well, I mean, I think that we're all in agreement about no longer pursuing any kind of inroads with Trump. This was based on promises that he made very early on before he won. And he said it in 3 different, she shares them all the time, the 3 times that he promised that he would release the files. So I think that we're all very clear on where his real agenda and his real priorities are. So nobody. And the thing is, Trump is so vilified right now that even if he came out in support of 9/11 Truth, nobody would take him seriously because everything comes out of his mouth is garbage. So it would actually probably do more harm than good. So that's that on Trump. Johnson, I can't really speak to. I'm not in his mind. I don't know. I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. We want to remain hopeful. But the thing is that this report that they're writing is still a critical piece of work that's going to last, and it's going to be established, and this was never really done up to now, to have all the basic evidence in one place and have it be a living document that you can not change down the line, but adjust or add to as research gets done and whatnot. So there's no loss in having it, and maybe who knows what the purpose of it is down the line, and it's going to end up being the thing that someone else needs, even if nothing happens with Johnson. So there's nothing lost there.
I just want to go
Yeah,
back real
I'm glad
quick.
to hear you say that. But I would say that, of course, I've been under the impression that it would be a presidential commission was the reason why Johnson wanted to have the hearings to form eventually a presidential commission, which was Walden. It was Kurt Walden.
Yeah, we tried that route, went to Susie Wiles. She didn't do anything with it. Went to a couple of the staffers. They didn't want to do anything with it. And
Okay, good. Sounds like we're done with that. Sounds right. Okay.
Yep. I do want to go back to something because I did a little digging and I found something very odd here. I did find the numbers for how many views the C-SPAN Richard Gage, Architects and Engineers 9/11 Truth video made. It's up to now 1,064,431. And the second place one, which was Nancy.
Wait. Hold on, you got interrupted. Would you say that number again slowly?
Yeah. Could somebody mute David?
Nice, David
Schlesinger. I got you. All right. So start this over. This is really telling here. The number currently sits at 1,064,431. And the second place, which is Nancy Pelosi's video, is at 929,000. What I found interesting with this is that I went social media, the White House, everywhere, just ridiculing Trump because of his narcissism. I thought I'll get under his skin. He was number 2 at 953,000 views. And I shared this meme. Again, I wrote it in messages to the White House, everywhere I could to try that he would get to it, to see, you're just number 2. You're just number 2. And even made this meme here that
that one was funny.
The King Me, President Trump, is number 2 on C-SPAN's most viewed videos, just making fun of Donald Trump. And this is why I find it interesting, because remember I said that Nancy Pelosi's videos at 929 and Trump's was at 953. So I can't say for sure, but the Trump video was deleted. I think this is just speculation, but I would think he'd rather say, remove my video completely because I don't want to come off as number 2. I don't know, but it's gone. It's not there at all. Very strange. Anyway, that's all. I digress. Where's my stop share button? Let's go back to the hands. Who's up next? We got Jetty from Scotland.
Hello, I certainly am. Yeah, on politicians speaking out, or for that matter, high profile people speaking out. Like, you've got Trump speaking out, and okay, he'd probably do as much harm as good than good if he came out just now. But the fact that in Trump's campaign, he saw 9/11, the questioning of the 9/11 event is something that would give him political. In other words, this is going to garner me some votes. If I say, you vote for me, you'll get to know the truth about 9/11. I'll tell you what actually did happen. Regardless of his actions after that point, he quite clearly saw that in some terms as a vote winner. In other words, the demographic that questions 9/11 has now gained some kind of political traction. Maybe Johnson sees a bit of that as well. Politicians don't get to the top of that very, very greasy, slimy pole without getting their hands dirty, do they? So they know how to play both sides. But the fact that this is becoming politically expedient at some level for politicians is something that we should take positives from. Whether or not they follow through on what they say or not, it is a vote winner for them. But I think we need to be careful. Chris made a point in the chat earlier there, that, if we're all thinking the same, then somebody's not thinking. I think we have to be very careful about saying to people, whether it's Roger Waters, whether it's Johnson, saying to people, look, here's what you've got to think. Here's what you've got to say. Here's the correct talking points. You can't be doing that to people, because you just become this cult that's saying, okay, in order to get over the threshold here, you have to think this way and you have to accept this. And you need to let people find their own way. The fact that they're questioning it at that level is the thing that opens the door. And the more people that do that, the better. I mean, if Trump wanted to come out with something about 9/11 tonight, it wouldn't do us any harm. What would do us harm is if people go on the internet and they're taken along the government path. It's enough for people to be questioning this, and it should be. And for the record, I share suspicions about what Trump's motives were, and for that matter, what Johnson's motives are. I mean, who wouldn't suspect a politician? But I think we have to be very wary about saying to people, here's the precepts, here's the perimeters, there's what you should think about it. We should present them if anything, we should present them with the information and say, okay, well, what do you think? And then look for that feedback from them rather than saying, here's what you think.
Yep. Thank you, Jerry. I want to go back to Fox and Friends. This was July 2nd, 2025, where Trump was asked by a lady on Fox and Friends about 9/11, JFK, and the Epstein files. Again, this is before he was elected. Pete Hegseth is just a media personality. Yeah.
The first time I'm looking at thing, is that Pete Hegseth?
Yeah, Pete Hegseth. He's just a news anchor at that point. And here's the questions. And it's so telling because of all these things tied together, his answer on Epstein kind of encapsulates why nothing's coming out. Here we go.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you,
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would.
Yeah.
Would you declassify
Makes
the 9/11?
me wonder if, he's just protecting his buddies and himself. And I'll just leave it at that. Thank you, Jetty.
Can I just add one sentence to
Sure.
what Jerry said?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to remind everybody that a single sentence in the first presidential debate on the Republican side, when Trump ran for the first time, well, actually, it wasn't his first time, but the first time he was elected, he knocked Jeb Bush out of the race with a single sentence about your brother was in charge on 9/11. That's all it took, and Jeb was out.
Yes, it was. And if I was quicker, I would have had that queued up. I'm not that quick. Anyway, let's go to, thank you, Barb. Let's go to Jack.
Yes, I've had a little bit of experience with Ron Johnson in the past, and he often, he said, I'm going to do this. It sounds great. And then later he doesn't do it. So I got the impression that somebody was yanking on his leash, somebody in Israel. As he was getting a lot of money from Israel at that time. And Mike Johnson, the same thing. He's a whore, in my opinion. But concerning the merging of the Israeli and U.S. militaries, when this has come up in the news, it's been completely drowned out that with all these media personalities on Fox yelling and screaming about Americans don't have the guts to fight for what's right and all these things. And I think, look at that as absolutely absurd. But then I talk to people and people, they really take these things seriously and they memorize them and they videotape them. And so that's a trick they use, distraction. Thanks.
Yep. And if you guys have the stomach for it, I got that video that Barbara referenced real quick. Here it is.
Yeah,
this was, he gave me some hope back then, but that quickly dwindled. Here it is.
Should be impeached. I think it's my turn, isn't it? You do whatever you want. You call it whatever you want. I want to tell you, they lied. Okay. They said there were weapons of mass destruction. There were none, and they knew there were none. There were no weapons of mass destruction.
All right. Governor, when a member on the stage's brother gets attacked,
I got
brother
about
gets
5 or
respond.
6. Do I get to do it 5 or 6 times or just once?
When a brother gets attacked, the brother gets a chance to respond. They're just making up rules as they come along. That's crazy. Anyway, thank you. Let's go.
That's not the quote I was referring to at all.
Which one were you?
Right.
Oh, where Donald Trump, almost verbatim, because he was on the stage. One of the other candidates was Jeb Bush at that time, early on.
Yep.
And And there was a question about 9/11, and Jeb Bush's answer was, well, my brother had this wonderful response, and we're going after the bad guys. And Trump's rebuttal to that was, excuse me, your brother was in charge when this country was attacked on 9/11.
Maybe
And
this
that was
is
it for Jeb Bush. He was out.
For him, he enjoys it, and I'm glad he's happy about it. But I am
$22
sick and
million
tired.
in
I am
ads.
sick and tired of him going after my family. My dad is the greatest man alive in my mind. And while Donald Trump was building a reality TV show, my brother was building a security apparatus to keep us safe, and I'm proud of what he did. And he's had the gall to go after my
World Trade
mother.
Center came
He's
down
had the
during
gall
your
to go
brother's
after
reign.
my
Remember
mother.
that.
Hold on. Let me finish. He's had the gall to go after my mother.
That's not keeping
Look, I
us
won
safe.
the lottery when I was born 63 years ago and looked up.
Yeah, I think it's, I don't want to spend too much time on that, but it's somewhere in there. All right. Let's go back to Carl.
Yeah, to follow up on Jerry's comment, I think the tactic one sees in the move towards congressional hearings and such is that the hearings end up being sort of a limited hangout and kicking the can down the road, which 25 years is a key date for doing that. And with 9/11, it's almost perfectly paralleling what happened with the JFK assassination and the clamoring for new hearings. Well, they had the hearings in the late 70s, House Select Committee on Assassinations, which only went so far as to say, oh, there was a conspiracy, but we don't know what happened. The thing here is that Johnson is quick to bash the government. The government's responsible. The government's hiding this. Government's covering this up, but not wanting to go the layer deeper than that of, what is the hand in the glove of the government? Who's really guiding things? Who has infiltrated our government? The same thing goes with COVID. I mean, a lot of information circulated about who the CEOs were of all the critical pharmaceutical companies, who were the key people at FDA or CDC, and they all seem like they might be aligned with similar interests to those who dominate Trump's cabinet, for example. So that's been one of the points I've tried to emphasize is we need to take this opportunity to really cement the idea up front that 9/11 was a false flag event and who benefited from that. And talk about uncomfortable things, which I think Johnson he's very good at the grandstanding part of it and helping bring out the angst that people like. I went to some of the hearings he had in DC, and the families of people who were damaged by the vaccine and all that, very emotional. And he gets a lot of credit for letting people vent their emotion, like I'm sure he'd like to do with the 9/11 families. But then, the key is going the next step. And just one more minute on explaining with JFK, in early 90s, the Assassination Records Review Board was established after all the clamor following the film JFK to just coalesce in one spot all of the possible records anywhere in the government related to the Kennedy's assassination. Now the man in charge of that, the executive director, was named David Marwell. And where he came from just before that assignment, I don't have his specific details, but it was based in Germany. And the job he went into immediately after the ARRB shut down business was to be executive director of the Holocaust Memorial and Museum in DC. And I asked one of the people who worked on the AARB, one of the key investigators, hey, if Dave Marwell had a chance to, make sure anything that pointed towards, Israel being the beneficiary of Kennedy's removal, would he have deep sixed that? And the person I spoke with about this said, you better believe it. So, and which brings me to the question, who might try to weave in who benefited from Kennedy's removal, Johnson's being put into power, the Zionist that he was, and how that feeds into 9/11. The Zionist coup that, once a coup happens, the people that gain power, they're going to keep the power and they're going to use it to their ongoing benefit. And if this is the 25th anniversary, is an opportune time to bring that up. I'd still be willing to connect some dots there in a not too gentle, but gentle enough way, with specific evidence to point to. But any other speaker on that topic? The JFK assassination feeding into 9/11?
Not at our
tried.
conference.
We tried. We had a connection to Oliver Stone, and he didn't even decline. He just said that he had well, whatever. He said he had another engagement or something he couldn't do that day.
But you have to understand, his movie, as emotional as JFK was, it pointed everywhere except it was exactly what kicking the can down the road is. It made everyone think, oh, our government did it, as opposed to thinking, well, no, it was James Angleton, the number 3 guy at CIA, who was really a Mossad asset, who was a key person. Yeah. And no mention of the nuclear weapons issue, all that. I've asked Oliver Stone in person. I think you've seen the video here of that. And he just sort of, hems and haws, and like the people who helped feed him the script, defend the scenario that was put out there. But the CIA did it is just a lame, simplistic story for JFK's removal. Now, I've mentioned you, Laurent Guillenot, the author of The Unspoken Kennedy Truth. I'm sure he'd make himself available even by Zoom. He can speak authoritatively on the connections between Kennedy's removal and 9/11, or I'm still offering to do so myself.
All right.
Just for the record, I've given 2 presentations at the JFK Anniversary Dallas conferences on the parallels between JFK and 9/11. Just for the record.
All right. Thank you,
Well,
Barb.
for the record, you wanted to say that the Mossad hired a Nazi assassin to take out JFK, which I think is nonsense.
I didn't say that.
All right, we're gonna move on. Thank you, Carl. Let's go to Craig, and then Magnus's videos, Mikey Perazzo, and then we're going around the room. Go ahead, Craig.
I just wanted to actually comment on what Jerry said. I agree with him talking about, when you get a celebrity or somebody that gets involved, you can't really sort of tell them what to do. That's true. I just think, and I've said this, I think previously, but I'll just reiterate it, that, celebrities, I think we have to be very cautious. Sometimes, including politicians, as we've seen the ups and downs of the Kurt Weldon experience, it was, better to go through that than not to go through it, I think, most of the time. But, there are pros and cons, and it's good to kind of just go into these situations kind of with both eyes open, and not just go too far where like you kind of just depend on something, this is our one and only big chance kind of a thing. Even with Ron Johnson, same thing. And Congresswoman Luna, all these different things come up. But when it comes to celebrities too, because you never know, people that are, Charlie Sheen, was a big 9/11 truther at one point. And, that didn't go so well for a while, although maybe he'd, be good if he got back to it, I guess. But people like that, what's his name? Jesse Ventura getting into, the directed energy weapons thing, was, not super helpful at the time, I don't think. So I guess whenever it's a celebrity, it's tempting to kind of just grab on it because, oh my God, a famous person is agreeing with us. But we just have to take it with a grain of salt and just proceed with caution, I think, whenever, and it's great, like Roger Waters that's fantastic. But, same thing, just let's not get too starstruck, because you never know what, where they're going to go with it or, so that's it.
I think that's fair. Still, the overall positive is that they shine a light on the subject. They make it okay to question it. They encourage, they maybe trigger discussions among people. They give, people the courage to speak out themselves if they've been sitting on it for a while. All of these, and you're right. Once it's out there, you can't control what is being said or how they say it and all of that stuff. I would still take it. I don't want to put them on a pedestal for it, but yeah, it's hard not to get excited when someone who's never said a word about it and has a lot of reach suddenly comes out
Yeah.
and says something. It's like, holy cow, it's like finally somebody says something. And so it's a bit of a double-edged sword, but I think it's the overall advantages are still, I'd rather have that than have them stay silent.
I agree with you. I agree with you. There are the danger, like you're right, it's a double-edged sword. That's exactly the way to put it. Because the danger is with somebody with so much more reach than any of us has individually, if they lead us, if they sort of say, oh, I'm questioning all this about 9/11, and then they use as a backing for their position something that makes us look crazy, well, they can actually do more damage than good. And so that's just
right.
That is, you got to weigh it. You got to, you don't know what.
But if all it does, I mean, I would hope that in most cases, all it does is open the door. I hope that just because somebody like Jesse Ventura comes out and endorses DEWs, that not everybody's going to go DEW, that they'll just say, oh, something's not right with 9/11. I've heard some stuff. This is interesting. I'll look into it. They go down the rabbit hole and maybe they're they're convinced by controlled demolition. So it doesn't have to be that the first word that comes out of their mouth is the thing that the recipient is going to adopt. But
no,
it could do damage. You're right. It could,
It can do damage in the case where maybe the basis given for if it shuts people down from investigating because they think, and I would argue, and you probably don't agree with me about this, but the Tucker Carlson series, I think was good on one level because it did get that out into the discussion, but it kind of reinforced a lot of the official story. And so I would say that was a partial win, but it was not a resounding win.
I agree. And very, very early when that happened, you expressed that caution about it. And I didn't really want to hear it because it was one of those where I was like just really excited that Tucker was making a series about it. Guilty. I hear that more now. I also feel like he should have gone further. And what bothers me the most is that, he keeps saying that, well, if only we had access, if only we, spoke to specialists and whatever, engineers, and to find out that his brother Buckley is a huge fan of Richard's and follows him.
Oh, we didn't share that. Yeah.
And all of that stuff. And I'm
like,
dude, this is your brother. Like if you have like 1 degree of separation and honestly, I mean, really, Tucker can call anybody and say, I want to interview you and doesn't need any degrees of separation, really. But, it's his brother that he obviously respects and looks up to a lot. We don't need to be here with Tucker. Tucker could have this information. So why did it not make it to the series? That bothers me too now.
Let's take
more than it did a year ago.
Cover that.
How about having Richard and Buckley on? Have Tucker interview Richard with Buckley.
Well, we can't decide that for him.
So Buckley Carlson on X has 125,000, we'll say, followers. And yeah, a few posts ago, if I scroll down here far enough, there it is. He shared the Lucky Larry promo video. And he says, there is no statute of limitations on mass murder. Richard Gage's tenacity and subject matter expertise will someday pay righteous dividends. Praying that day is soon, and the impressive gathering of truth tellers and seekers on the 25th anniversary of 9/11 will surely accelerate the arrival of terrestrial justice. Please peruse here and pass it on. So hats off to Buckley Carlson. And I would love those family talks. I would love to sit in on a fly on the wall on that one. So that's cool. All right. I'm trying to get here. We're coming up on 2 hours. Let's get through these hands, go around the table. Craig, thank you for that.
Sure.
Let's go to Mikey P.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I thought that was I was actually thinking that same thing. That was a really intelligent thing that Craig said about not putting all our eggs in one basket when some famous person comes and says something in regards to our movement. I thought that was really cool. So many times, remember it happened with like Aaron Rodgers. It happened with, I don't know 100% if Jesse Ventura mentioned DEW, but I know he definitely is a famous guy regarding, WWF or WWE if you came later, and all that. So that I can 100% agree with that. You just got to take it with a grain of salt. But I will say on the Roger Waters thing, I mean, he donated $100,000, so that's not like chump change. So I would say he's probably a little more, like he's actually putting his money where his mouth is. Like, meanwhile, the rest of these people didn't donate like jack. So I would say he's probably a little more serious about it than most. But I still 100% agree with Craig what he said. But $100,000 is quite a bit of money.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing I wanted to ask was, actually two things. Is William Rodriguez, is he going to come?
Yes, we talked about that earlier. Yep.
Oh, sorry, I must have missed that.
All good. And on that note, real quick, he just made a new post. If anybody's in the New York vicinity, Ross Deb, he just posted 26 minutes ago. Tomorrow, Monday 16th, we'll be filming for National Univision at the Memorial. If anybody is in the area, feel free to stop by and say hello. Don't know what time that is, but if anybody's in the area tomorrow down at the Ground Zero,
yeah, bring some papers.
Yeah.
Has Willie plugged our conference yet? Do you know?
Not that I see. Yeah, not that I see. Anyways, I'm trying to get through this. Thank you, Mikey. Barb, you're up.
Yeah, just and then I don't need to go around the room again. I just want to remind people, 9/11 must be the true 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th rail in Washington, D.C. And some of the strongest, or one of the pieces of strongest evidence of that, is one of the very first things Trump did in his second term was to call for the declassification of all of these categories of documents. And Representative Luna is head of the task force under the House Government Oversight Committee to declassify, and I hope I remember them all: JFK, RFK, MLK, Epstein, UFOs and UAPs and aliens, and 9/11. She has now held hearings on all of them except for MLK and 9/11. Put MLK aside. It's not a biggie in the public's mind. It should be, but it isn't as much as JFK. She's held hearings on JFK. She's held hearings on UAP, etc., hearings on Epstein, or there have been hearings on Epstein. I don't know about hers, but certainly, in the House. Nothing on 9/11, not a squeak on 9/11.
Yep.
And we now know, thanks to Gene, you uncovered it, Gene, that's great. There was a shadow 9/11 commission that was, very Epstein related. And of the 6 million or so Epstein related documents, only 3 million have been released. And there's evidence that we know that the period of the 3 million that haven't been released includes the lead up to 9/11 and after 9/11. 9/11 is the ultimate third rail.
Yep. Thank you, Barb. Lou, finally got to you.
Yes, thank you very much. Susan Serpa out of Boston was saying that she's appreciative and welcoming of my musical performance. I'm bringing my axe. I'm just an acoustic. I don't have an electric acoustic that was stolen years ago. So I'm looking forward to adding music. And I think one of the songs that we want to sing a cappella is "This Little Light of Mine. I'm gonna
let it shine." Right on.
That's what I think we're all doing. It's called motivation. What are we motivated by? It's love, basically. Thank you.
Right on, Lou. Thank you. Jack, back to you. And then we're going around the room. Or Jack, you can start it off.
I thought this was around the room already.
No.
Barb said she was.
That was Barb's,
Yeah,
but
okay.
Jack, this could be yours.
Okay. First, concerning the two movies, JFK and Tucker dealing with 9/11, but there are backstories. For example, when Oliver Stone tried to make that movie, he had a hard time raising money, and most people thought that the JFK assassination was completely settled. They were shocked to find out that it wasn't. We weren't told the truth. So he did make a major contribution, but he wasn't coming from a position of extreme strength. And concerning Tucker Carlson, I think if he does any more, since he has such a good audience and there's a chance he might run for president, they'll just kill him.
Oh, good Lord.
So my father was killed by Mossad.
Yeah.
So I was right there. I saw the whole thing. So they, you have to keep these things in mind. Thanks.
Yep. Thank you, Jack. All right, going around the room. David Schlesinger, anything for the group?
You didn't do Magnus's videos.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Hang on. Hold that thought. We got to do Magnus's videos.
Videos.
Video. Sorry. I love that.
Oh, thank you.
You're
They are
welcome.
Very short.
The first one was Rudy Giuliani claims same health risks at 9/11 recovery as 9/11 recovery workers. 43 seconds. Here we go.
Thank you. You haven't shared screen yet. Oh, there you go.
But Giuliani's.
I didn't click share screen yet. Let's try that again. Here we go.
Sabrina, thank you. Rudy Giuliani is firing back this morning against criticism by relatives of 9/11 victims. They say the former New York City mayor mismanaged the aftermath of the attacks. But Giuliani says he was with rescuers at the debris pile and he even spent more time than some workers.
This is not a mayor or a governor or a president who was sitting in an ivory tower. I was at ground zero as often, if not more than most of the workers. I was there working with them. I was there guiding things. I was there bringing people there. But I was exposed to exactly the same things they were exposed to. So in that sense, I'm one of them.
The head of the police department's detectives union says Giuliani's record can't compare to those who spent a year sifting through the toxic debris. Meantime,
There's that one. And the next one. Where do you want me to go in this one? Because it's 3.5 minutes.
Oh, just started from the beginning.
Okay, here we go.
We're taking direction from you, and we're following your example. You've done a terrific
hard to
job,
hear.
Mr. President.
Well, thanks, Rudy, and thanks, George. Let me make it clear to you all, as my close friends, that my mindset is this. One, I'm weep and mourn with America. I'm going to a hospital right after this to comfort families. I wish I could comfort every single family whose lives have been affected. But make no mistake about it, my resolve is steady and strong about winning this war that has been declared on America. It's a new kind of war. I understand it's a new kind of war. And this government will adjust. And this government will call others to join us to make sure these acts, the people who conducted these acts and those who harbor them are held accountable for their actions. Make no mistake. And as we do so, I urge, I know I don't need to tell you all this, but our nation must be mindful that there are thousands of Arab Americans who live in New York City who love their flag just as much as the three of us do. And we must be mindful that as we seek to win the war, that we treat Arab Americans and Muslims with the respect they deserve. I know that is your attitudes as well, certainly the attitude of this government, that we should not hold one who is a Muslim responsible for an act of terror. We will hold those who are responsible for the terrorist acts accountable and those who harbor them. You'll see, and I look forward to visiting with you in person tomorrow about...
Is that about that? Get about the gist of it there, Magnus?
Yeah, and then he says, I'm a loving guy, and this is a terrible phone call with Rudy Giuliani on the phone. This is a terrible remark. Thank you, Gene.
Is that who he's talking to Giuliani?
Is that?
Yeah,
Is he
he
talking
was
to?
there in the,
Who's he
he
on the
was
phone
there in
with?
the start.
Well, it looks like this video got very popular in the next little bit here. Let me just go to where the popular part is. Here goes. Let's see.
Cry with the citizens of your good area.
Well, I don't think about myself right now. I think about the families, the children. I'm a loving guy. And
can you just go to the start again, Gene?
Who's got a job to do.
We're taking direction from you, and we're following your example. You've done a terrific job, Mr. President.
Well, thanks, Rudy.
Yeah, the call was with Rudy. Okay, 10-4.
Yeah.
I watched something like that, and I really feel like he knew diddly squat.
Yeah.
I think he really thought that this happened
Just
the
got to
way
remember,
it did.
you
And
fool me once, you just can't get fooled again. Anyways, all right.
All right. Thank you, Gene, and have a great week, everyone.
Thank you, Magnus. All right, still going around the room. I was at David Schlesinger. Dave, you still there?
Yeah, all I need to say is one time I was working outside of a supermarket in the D.C. area, and George Tenet, who had left as the CIA director, stopped and went in. And when he came out, I said, I hope the president appreciates everything you've done for him.
Content.
Right on. Thank you, David. Mr. Christopher Joya, anything for the group?
No, I don't have anything. I just wanted to say hi to everybody.
Thank you for being here,
Thanks,
sir.
Chris.
Good to see you.
Same here.
I'm gonna tail off of that with Mikey P, two guys that helped us out of DC when my truck broke down. Thank you again very much for that. Mikey, anything for the group?
Still driving.
If you can get to the mute button here, I'll try to help you out.
That was a great trip.
That was.
So hearing Magnus's video, man, like, to be honest with you, I was one of those fuckers that believed that thing for the first, I don't know, 15 years of it. Like, and now hearing it, knowing the position I have now and educating myself, like, wow, you can just tell the lies right through that guy's teeth, man.
Yeah.
George W. Bush referring to. I'm not sure if Rudy is culpable or not, but it's just for sure George Bush is full of shit, you know?
Yeah, Rudy was part of the cleanup, getting all, yeah, he's definitely part of it. But,
okay. One last thing, and I'm not sure if this is a can of worms or not, but whatever happened to Julia and Lawrence Fine?
Lawrence popped in a couple weeks ago. He's doing his own thing. He just did a call with Boston 9/11 Truth. Julia, I saw her maybe a month ago in some chats, but yeah, she comes and goes. But yeah, it is what it is. That's how the 9/11 Truth movement is.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mikey. Bob, anything for the group?
Yeah, just a thank you to Jerry for bringing up what he did, because I have to be reminded periodically that we are not a cult with everybody kind of in lockstep believing exactly the same things, because there will be differences between people and you've got to account for that stuff.
Aye. Thank you, Bob. Yeah, the 9/11 Truth movement certainly doesn't agree on everything. Jane, Sweet Jane, anything for the group?
Yeah, just briefly, I'm glad to be here amongst all of you doing such investigative work. And for some reason, the question that I have that could be addressed to many people is I wonder why it is that people who have gone below the surface of the official story and looked more closely, why is it that they don't return to the official story? And I think, I don't know, I've said this, I've voiced this a few times in other platforms, but it's just a simple question that could be asked when you're confronted with people who are still, pretty attached to the official story. That's
Mhm.
all. Yeah.
Yep. I fully agree. I was trying to make a joke on that, but I couldn't find a word that rhymes. Yeah, we'll just let it go. Once you go with 9/11 truth, you don't go back. There's nothing that rhymes with some other word. Anyway, thank you, Jane. Mike Cook, if you're there, are you taking a nap? Yeah, wake up. There he is. Anything for the group, Mike? You're muted.
We can't
brother.
read your lips.
He's trying. There it is.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to report. I still got to get my info out to the local firefighters, and I hope everybody else will do the same.
Yes. Thank you, Mike. Carol, anything for the group, Carol?
Whoops.
Yep.
I mentioned in the chat that Ken Jenkins is going to give a presentation on cognitive bias at Colorado 9/11 Truth next Saturday on the 22nd. Just FYI.
Aye. Thank you.
I couldn't hear that. A talk on what? Couldn't hear it?
Cognitive bias.
Oh, cognitive bias.
Mm-hmm.
Will there be video of that we can tap into?
Say that again, Bob.
Will there be video of that we can tap into?
Yeah, it'll be posted on the Colorado 9/11 Truth website after it's presented. But if you want to participate and raise questions, you can join the live Zoom event.
Yes.
How do I get the Zoom link?
Bob, you should be on the local mailing list. Don't you get my stuff?
Okay, I will have to double check what I have. Sorry, I'll back off on this. Have a good one.
Okay.
You're good. Can we get that to the contact us on the SF 9/11 Truth website? Would get to you?
Actually, Mike Berger fixed my calendar, so it is posted on the sf911truth.org website, except I have to update the precise link. It just takes you to Colorado, but it does, I think, give the password. See, there it is.
Click on that.
And then it'll give details. Probably.
Category.
You click on it.
Add to Google Calendar, I guess, is the only option.
No, that's our meeting this Thursday.
Oh.
It's an event afterwards where
I don't see it on the calendar. All right, she'll get
oh
on
dear.
that.
Well, maybe I screwed up. Oh, yeah, I'll have to put it back on the calendar. But I did put it in the chat. I put the correct link to their website.
Okay. Thank you, and thank you, Bob. We'll look for that. Lou, did I get? Yeah, I got you, Lou. Unless you want to say anything else real quick.
No, thanks.
Yeah.
Well, you muted yourself right when you were going to say something.
You are so beautiful.
Thank you, Lou.
You are so beautiful.
Are we
Are
looking
you
for
talking to me, Lou?
All of you guys. I love you guys, man. We're
Thank you, Lou.
volunteers. We're volunteers for America, and we're in a struggle, not a fight, for what Christopher Bolin has called the revolution of awareness. And I so appreciate Carl Golovin making sense. Yeah, let's get Golovin on there about JFK as one of the speakers. I think it belongs. Anyway, that's enough for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Lou. We got Magnus. Any final words?
Oh, just have a great week and keep up the great work.
You too, sir. Thank you. Craig?
Well, I just like to say that I'm very proud of my son, George Jr. I think he did a great job on 9/11 there. Staying in that 9/11 area he was working in over there. So just wanted to try to balance things, keep it balanced. Other than that, no, that's it.
That was pretty good. Thank you.
Well, I'm a little rusty, but okay.
I had a moment to like, what's he talking about?
Like he has a son, and then I heard
I was doing my impression of Dana Carvey doing an impression of George W. Bush.
Jeez.
George H.W. Bush, sorry.
Thank you. Deb Lee in New York City. Anything for the group?
Just looking forward to seeing everybody. The woman, Lenore, who's staying with me, is going to give a request to visit the show next week. She hasn't done so yet. And I'm just wondering if our dear Christopher Joya, if he has any personal message that he might want to relay through me to give to my friend who's a captain at the station on West 38th Street, firefighter, I've mentioned him a couple times on the show. He understands what's going on, but just doesn't want to speak out. And he's talked to his firefighter friends, very, with a lot of temerity, but he is down with it. And I feel like if he's going to come out or have any friends come out, this is the time, the 25th anniversary. So I just, no pressure. But if there is any kind of personal message, that might really break the ice. Thanks.
Deborah, can I respond to that?
Yeah.
I would
Please.
tell him it takes a lot, but just keep at it, and just you have to be strong, keep the faith, and just keep at it. And just, you have to be a person of conviction, and you have to stick to your guns, no matter what. So tell him I said that, and I recognize that, and just tell him to keep at it.
And you might want to add that Chris paid a price for taking a position. And if you can find that clip of Chris holding the speech at the press conference in front of all the cameras in his suit, that extremely powerful speech, I don't know if you showed it to your friend, but if that doesn't give him motivation and courage to even just speak, then I don't know what will.
Yeah, nothing else.
No, I didn't. If someone could email me that would be terrific.
Definitely
I feel like
We'll
really
make you some
now's the time.
little clips. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. And Christopher, if you think of anything after the show or later on, any kind of personal message like what you just said, please feel free to email me. If you don't have my email, you can get it through Jean and Sandra. I'm on the list.
We'll email the two of you guys so you can be in contact there.
I just want to say just quickly two things for Deb. The lady that she's referring to is a lady who she's hosting two ladies who contacted me through the Eventbrite website asking if anybody would be able to take them in during the time of the event because they could afford, it was just too much for them to afford both the event and the travel and the lodging. And Deb kindly accepted to host them both. So that rocks. And Deb just had a birthday this week. So happy birthday, Deb, from all of us. And we hope you had a great birthday party. And thank you for everything that you do in New York. It's really
Happy
awesome.
birthday.
And boy, do I have I got things I got to check with you on Monday. I don't know if you could make the call, but just things to go over very specific to New York. So we'll talk.
And I just in the chat put the link to it's on the Lawyers Committee for 9/11 Inquiries YouTube page. The press conference.
That's the whole thing, though, right?
The whole thing.
Yeah,
it's not too bad. It's only 13 minutes.
13 minutes. I don't know if you're gonna have.
Man, that whole thing in its entirety.
Everything is worth watching. It's just.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, I appreciate that, Jean. If you don't mind emailing me,
I will email it
because
to you.
this will disappear. Even if I go to go to YouTube, it cuts off the show.
Got it.
We'll get it to you.
I feel like this is important.
Yes, ma'am.
Jean.
Yes.
Jean, if I may, so one thing just popped into my head for Deborah. Winston Churchill, he's like my go-to guy for the quotes. And if it says, he said that if you're hated, that means you've stood up for something in your life. So you could tell your friend, tell him that I said that.
Okay.
And I think
I
Jen
mean,
can also,
maybe once his kids have gone through college, he'll do that. But right now, he's just trying to, raise his career. But he's
Yep.
a very smart guy, and he's a critical thinker. We're on a board of directors together for my building, and he knows. He just knows, but he has to go with the flow of his job as well. So
absolutely.
It's a fine line that he has to walk, balancing the career with actually taking a strong position such as this. So because he is a paid employee, so that definitely, it affects your livelihood. So you got to dance carefully around this. And that's a choice that he has to come to or decide on.
But you also have to stand for something.
And on that note, I'm going to share a clip that I found one of the most powerful parts of that 13 minutes. Sorry, I don't mean to embarrass you here, Chris, but this was fantastic. Here we go.
It would seem until now that we have left unmolested those who set fire to the house and prosecuted those who sounded the alarm. But that is changing. People lie, but the facts don't.
Bam! Love it. Yeah, have him check that
God,
out.
my voice was like raspy and breaking too.
It's the same. Anyway. All good. Love you, brother. Where are we at? After Deb was... Everybody's moving around now. We'll go with Sean Nagel. Anything for the group? He's finding the mute. While he's doing that.
Sean's pretty quick.
Yeah, usually. While he's doing that, Carl, go ahead.
Yes, I want to thank Lou for that vote of confidence. And by the way, my sinus issues seem to have been hopefully permanently solved.
Nice.
So I am better able to speak now with a genuine voice. Now, in chat, I just took a couple of images from my 2025 C-SPAN congressional directory, and you'll see that Representative Luna self-identifies as Messianic Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
And her father evidently raised her in that venue, despite some of her other relatives not thinking that's true.
Yeah.
But in any event, now concerning Oliver Stone, I think I did ask you to show this once before, and I don't think you would show it because you felt JFK was too far removed from 9/11. This is a 9/11 website. But since we're even thinking about inviting Oliver Stone to the conference, here I'm questioning Oliver Stone about, in part about his film JFK being funded by or produced by Arnon Milchan, self-acknowledged lifelong spy for Israel, including acquiring nuclear triggers for their nuclear program. So obviously Arnon Milchan would have had an interest in the film not pointing towards Israel and nukes being any part of why JFK was removed. And if you'll show the first 3 minutes of that.
I'm going to say this like 100 times on this show. This is the 30-second at the end when we're asking people to sum up. I'm not going to play a 3-minute video, but I'll play it next week for you before we do the 30-second wrap-up. It's now 20 after 7, and I want to end at 7. So please, when I ask people, this is the round of room. This is your 30 seconds to just share final thoughts, not open up more discussion.
Well, in the format, there's really never a place to introduce something.
Yeah, when I say the table's open. We'll do that next week. Thank you, though.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Al, anything for the group?
Yeah, Ken Jenkins, is he with the Colorado group, or I haven't heard his name for a long time, and I'd love to get him on our Boston 9/11 speaker to be a speaker. I don't know.
Northern California 9/11 Truth Alliance.
Say it again.
Northern California 9/11 Truth Alliance.
I'll connect you, Al. I'll send him your email.
Connect with Carol also, because
Yep.
So he's still active then.
Yep.
Very, and he'll be in New York.
Oh, okay. Because he in the very beginning he was very active. I hadn't heard his name for a long time. Anyway, but love to have him on. And so I think that's it. I just had a question. One thing this probably turn everybody against me on this one, but Charlie Kirk I heard was going to be part of the I don't know who's speaking in his down in New York, but I just sort of curious as to why that would be part of a 9/11 group, and kind of feeling like, not that it doesn't belong, but I just assume keep it on message, and maybe I'm all off on that, but it was interesting because I was talking to a broker friend of mine and showing her the website for the New York event, and she came to that looking at Charlie Kirk, and she said, "What's he doing there?" And I said, I really wasn't aware that he was going to be there, meaning his name.
Right.
She said, "Well, you can forget that. I'm not going to listen to this stuff." And so it was interesting. It was a comment.
Yeah, if it's okay, I'll read you my very response to someone who asked me the same question. And the question was, first, the 10th of September, obviously, is the first anniversary of his death. It's significant. It's one of the biggest assassinations of our lifetimes. Secondly, it falls under false flags. And thirdly, politics should have nothing to do with it. A person was murdered at the hand of the deep state for standing by his principles. It shouldn't matter if the person leaned left or right. I don't think there's anyone on the left, at least among our left, who thinks he deserved to die. So basically, it's about Charlie the person, and not about Charlie, not about,
I just want to keep it short. There's a 13th where we're talking about deep state activities, and Phil Turney's going to be there talking about the USS Liberty. We have Meryl Nass and Mary Holland going to be talking about the health freedom, anthrax, and COVID. And then whoever the pen name person, October 7th is going to be discussed. So they're talking about this larger, and even JFK.
Well, JFK didn't work out. JFK was on the table because of this connection to Oliver Stone and someone else who could have spoken very eloquently, and both couldn't make it, and then we dropped it. So it was just as a discussion, a possibility.
All good.
Well, someone else could still speak very eloquently.
Well, it's too late now because the schedule's full. So
very good.
Yeah, all good. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue Serp. Anything for the group? Oh, you just muted. You muted yourself again. Let me try that.
You just muted her.
No, no, she.
Oh, there we go. Sorry. I was trying to.
Oh, wait. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Sorry, I skipped Richard, but sorry, Richard. Go ahead, Sue.
Yeah, just want to make a couple of announcements. And apologies for us not coming out to New York because we got our plate full here in Boston. I think I mentioned the last time, but it bears repeating. We're having an aerial banner with our message flying 50 miles over Boston, from Western Mass to Boston. We're still looking for a videographer. If we don't get one, we'll use the last video of it because it's the same message. And we're going to have our highway blogging over the Mass Turnpike, which is US 90. And we're going to the Boston State House with our literature. Since it's a weekday, we're going to go inside with our literature. And a couple other events. On September 1st, Madhava Sethi is dressing the Brownstone Institute. He's pretty excited about that. and talking about 9/11. And on September 17th, we're having our Massachusetts premiere of The Responders in Milton, Massachusetts. So we're pretty excited about that as well.
Man, you got something going on. And you have no time to come to New York. I don't understand. Like,
I
squeeze
wish
it
I
in.
could be cloned. I wish I could be cloned.
You guys are just unbelievable.
So we don't have any time for speakers for a while yet.
That's okay,
but
I think.
yeah.
Stu, could you clarify Madhava's event? What is this organization and will it be live streamed?
Brownstone, Barb.
No.
What's that?
Brownstone.
I don't know what it is.
You know every institute.
I don't. You do.
Okay. The Brownstone Institute is a nonprofit organization founded in May of 2021. Its vision of society that places highest value on voluntary interaction of individuals and groups while minimizing the use of violence and force, including that which is exercised by public or private authorities. It has a vision of enlightenment. This goes on and on. But anyway, it's a $55 event that he's speaking at, and he's pretty excited about it.
Cool.
All right. Thank you, Sue. I'll put that in the show notes as well.
I also just wanted to say one last thing. 25 years is a long time. A lot of us have been at it for 20 plus years. And that takes a toll. We really desperately need to reach out to young people and remind them why this matters and remind them how much 9/11 and the false flag of 9/11 and the events following 9/11 to steal our liberties and bleed our coffers has stolen their future. So everyone, please try and talk this up to young people, even if they shrug their shoulders and say, yeah, I know, but what can I do about it? And that was so long ago. Remind them that they can take back their future by exposing the truth of 9/11.
Yep. Thank you, Sue. Richard.
Thank you. I was hoping I could go next. I've got dinner on the table. So Gail says hi to everybody, and she always misses being here and seeing you guys. Unfortunately, she has a call at the same time, an important call, cryptocurrency call that she's trying to convert into lots and lots and lots of money for the 9/11 truth movement. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
But we've been approved by Film Hub to submit. They liked what they saw on IMDb. They specifically noted in our conference call with Ellie and Zach over there at Film Hub that you have 72 reviews or ratings on IMDb. So it made a big difference and will continue to do so. So now Susie is actually reviewing every word of the 6 episodes, 7 hours of 9/11 Crime Scene to Courtroom. And we're so grateful to her for stepping up to the plate, because I just can't do that. And the turning the tide and uploading all of the artwork and all of the episodes and trailers to Film Hub. So this is turned out to be a whole lot of work. So once they get through the QC process, for which we've paid $1,000, it will be distributed far and wide. And of course, our goals, particularly, are Amazon Prime and Netflix and the others.
Nice.
So it's pretty exciting. I'm wondering, Gene, could you just flash the IMDb real quick?
Yeah.
That way we could encourage people to if you haven't done your rating yet, you can give it 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars, 2 stars, or even 1 star. It will counteract the debunkers if you give higher stars, and they're after us.
It goes up to 10, Richard, just for the record.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yes. So don't encourage 5 stars.
Oh my God. Give 10 stars.
Somebody did give 5 star.
So you go to imdb.com and you search for 9/11 crime scene to courtroom. It'll come up. And now you want to log in if you're going to rate it. That's how they get you on their side. It's easy to make an account. All you have to do is have an Amazon account and log in with your Amazon account.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you don't have an Amazon account and don't want one, you can make a free account on IMDb.
I think
yeah.
I just think it's funny. You go here to you click on the star and it shows you the ratings, and it's like, this is all everybody. And then there's Norway. And I'm like, oh, Norway. And you click on Norway and there's actually 9 people that voted from Norway. So nice job, Magnus.
Magnus, that's incredible. Thank you.
Great.
So we need more people from Norway and America.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's not Magnus and 8 of his avatars.
Yeah. I think it's 8 of his friends, but yeah.
Thank
Good
you,
job.
guys.
Yep. Thank you, Richard.
Thanks, Susie. She's got to finish that tonight.
What I didn't quite catch. What is Susie doing by going through every word of Crime Scene to Courtroom?
We have to submit the subtitles. So she has to tell them what they're hearing, like dramatic music or explosion. And she types that in. That's for the deaf and the dumb.
Got it. Yes.
All right.
Thank you, Susie.
Thank you, Susie. Let's follow that with Susie if she's here. Susie, yes, you are. Anything?
She's supposed to be
yes,
working.
I'm here. I shouldn't be here, though. I need to be doing all this work right now. Yeah. And I'm grateful to be able to help where I can. It really brought back the old days of having, Richard telling me what I can do and can't do. So.
Yep, I'll run for life.
Oh, you mean we're a cult after all?
No.
Yeah, we're a cult after all, yes.
No, it's like, it's our 15-year anniversary for that. But anyway, yeah.
Talking about the release of Experts
Speak Out. Yep.
Yeah. So I enjoyed the call. I was in and out though listening because I have to play these episodes over and over and over and over and over again to make sure I get the timing and everything right. So I apologize I didn't get to hear everything, but just wanted to show up.
Thank you, Susie.
I've done that job for a couple of years, and it's really have to be super precise.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We transcribed what's his name? Maximilian Rupert.
Yeah.
We're on vacation, and a guy in Germany speaks out about 9/11. A professor. We're like, we have to do this. So for 2 days we transcribed.
Oh yeah, but I actually did that as a.
Oh yeah, you did that for fun. Anyway, all
Not
right.
for fun. I was
trying to get through this. Let's see. Back to Sean Nagel. You there, Sean? Anything for the group? I'll check back. David Campbell.
Yes, thanks. Recollection and a question. I remember several years ago coming up the Holland Tunnel, Manhattan side, and just there to the right is an old historical-looking red fire station. And I'm wondering either Chief Joya or anyone else might know what fire station that is, and if we know what the specific role they might have played in 9/11 response. Otherwise, thanks. Good work and good week.
Was that out of the Holland Tunnel?
The Holland Tunnel, yes, is my recollection.
I'll try and find out. I don't know off the top of my head.
All right, I'll look into it as well. Thank you.
I thought I could do it real quick.
No, he tried.
There's a fire museum coming out of the Holland Tunnel.
Maybe that's it. It looks maybe it was then an old fire station back in the day.
Ooh,
that's very possible.
There it is.
Engine 30.
That sounds. That's what I'm wondering is the number, Engine 30, and a fire museum as well.
Yeah, they repurposed some of those buildings. I do know that.
Very good. Thank you both and all.
Yep. Mike, anything for the group?
Yeah, two quick things. I know Ian's in and out of kind of doing his post, but maybe he could help promote it because obviously he's aligned with us and maybe get some more young people. And then Jimmy Dore, I didn't know if Jimmy Dore would be interested in having maybe Richard or someone on 2 weeks or something in advance. If I think they can both pull people, but look forward to seeing most of you there. And that was it.
Right on, brother. Thank you. Jerry, anything for the group?
Yeah, quickly, I just wanted to say, I don't think he's still on the call, but to David Schlesinger's point about the top block drop in 5 stories or so, you've got, at any height above floor 9, you've got 283 columns at any given height. And you've still got 230 odd still connected. They have to become misaligned in order for that to happen. And it's how that happens. We're actually working on that just now. So if David goes back and hears this, he could feel free to reach out to me because we're doing the numbers on that right at the moment. I meant to mention it when I was on. But other than that, have a good week, everybody.
You as well, sir. Thank you. Jack, did I get you? Chris?
I think it's at the very beginning.
Yeah, I think I did. Is there anybody I didn't get? I'm all confused. People are jumping all around here.
Yeah, you didn't get me. A few people, I think.
I'm sorry, Ross. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I would like to address Greg McKee, first of all, because this is, age keeps the messenger.
Oh, you're breaking up.
I want to quickly say that I appreciate his imitation very much. And I appreciate much more so because it's something I really don't like to go there. He has done a very good imitation of H.W. Bush and Weeds. So I hope to collaborate with you someday and we can bring peace and justice to the world. I have to work a little bit, but
Is that Kissinger? That's a tough one.
Yeah,
Okay.
I need to practice.
Henry, I just want to say I'd be more than happy to sit down with you there. Sit down. We'll work it out over in that working out area there we have.
If I could, I'd like to say I'm intimidated by your impression, but I will be back at you with my own interpretations of the New World Order and how we need in order to secure the peace and prosperity of everyone, especially ourselves. So anyhow, I'm going to go now to the constant reminder board. So I got attacked by 2 people simultaneously. I don't really mean attacked. Younger women come from one direction to the other direction. And basically the gist is that's the best invention I have ever seen. So I've added it to my list of demands for the whoever the powers that be are, that not only are they rebuilding the towers, but the mass transportation system that they're going to fund, that they're going to teach everybody how to do, is to build these skateboards and run around the city streets. So and I'm serious about that. So Sue, that's one of the ways I'm reaching out to the young people. I got a lot of traction there. They're telling me before I even prompt them, they want to see the towers rebuilt. These are people that were 2 years old. And I don't know how they know even that yet, but I've got a lot of traction with them. Some people, young people with money. So I've been telling them about the conference. And then just lastly, I know Richard signed off already, but he's been on the cover of Time Mag.
Whoa.
Time Magazine is the king of the United States, but don't mess with New York, Richard. I'm the king of New York. You remember that. So us kings, we don't like to be fighting over territory. So, and then last, I'll just say, signing out your hardcore truther. See you next week.
Aye, Ross. Thank you.
Thank you, Ross.
Who else didn't I get? Anybody? Speak now or forever hold your peace. All right, Sandra.
Good.
Anything, Sandra?
I'm going to just say this. We have these Turning the Tide t-shirts from last year.
Oh, yeah.
That we went to get from the other building that we left behind after we moved, but we've got them all. We only have large, extra large left.
And 2XL.
And
4 larges, 6 XLs, and 6 double XLs.
Anyways, and it started with me promising Mike Cook to send him one because he donated a lot of money to Turning the Tide. Now, if I offer this to everybody, it's not going to seem quite convenient to do that for him. I'll figure something else out for him. But if anybody wants a t-shirt in those sizes, I don't have any other sizes.
In this group that happens to come, you guys are regulars here. So.
Or even someone, like if it's a name I recognize who's like an active, true activist.
I'll take a large.
You'll take a large. Anyways, I'll write it down for you, Susie, but anybody else, if you just want to send me a message, I think you all know where to find me pretty much.
Sandra, please.
You too, Chris?
A large, yeah, please.
All right.
And my name's on the back, so that's an extra track.
Yeah, of course. Large is okay? No, Craig, are you asking for one?
It's a collector's edition. I would love one, actually.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So I mean, I'll be happy. I'll take on the mailing costs and all of that stuff. Just send me your mailing, like your addresses, obviously.
Are you going to be in Manhattan? I'll get it from you if you could bring it to Manhattan next
I'll bring it to Manhattan. I'll have to make a note not to forget.
All right.
We'll have the new t-shirts obviously for this year, but these are the last year's ones. And and all of the activists, I mean, it's the least anybody can do, and we have them left over and we can't sell them. So
Sandra, just clarification about the t-shirts. When they're washed, do they shrink?
Probably a little bit.
I don't
know. So maybe
Barb.
Somebody who wants a large would need an extra large, maybe?
I don't know. I mean, sizes are a crapshoot on any day. I mean,
Mine didn't shrink up that much.
No,
they don't shrink, not like they used to do.
Yeah,
shirts used to shrink a lot.
But it's also a man's. It's a man's cut, right? Which is larger than like a man's large would be a woman's extra large, likely.
All right.
Yeah, that's already 3 sizes above me. So
okay.
Same here, yeah. So anyways, anybody else, just let me know by message, text, whatever.
Text or contact at 911warroom.com. Send your size and your address.
Yep.
All right.
Craig, I'd be honored to wear your shirt, sir.
Well, thank you. Just knowing that is a great honor, Chris. Great honor.
Now, hold on, we're all on the back, not just Craig.
I'd be honored to wear everybody's shirt.
You want to show
anything else? Yeah, I'll share it again. Let's see.
I like to think things are all about me, Barb.
I don't know if you guys can read that.
No,
I'm strategically located way at the bottom, right above David Chandler and Wayne Costy. So just if you're looking for me, I'm looking down on those two.
All
right, there you go. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
I got something for you. A long time ago, Ken Dock had started the 9/11 Truth Movement Facebook group. It's now up to almost 44,000 members. He made it private for some reason. I don't know. It wasn't nefarious or whatnot. But once you make a group private on Facebook for the longest time, you couldn't go back to public because they were trying to protect anybody who was sharing things privately, not to go and be outed as public. But they changed their rule. So as of today, it took 3 days for this to happen. As of today, about an hour ago, the 9/11 Truth Movement Facebook group of almost 44,000 members is now once again a public group. And how Facebook will do that is any old posts that were made when it was private will remain only viewable by the members back then. But any new posts going forward are now available to everybody. So this is just fantastic because this is the largest 9/11 Truth Movement group on Facebook, and
the biggest impediment was always that the people in the group kept complaining to us that they couldn't share the stuff.
Yes,
that was the biggest problem with it. So they're getting all this great information. So of course you can download and you can copy the link, or you can do this and that, and you find your workarounds. But it's a heck of a lot easier to just click the share button. And obviously, if it's a private group, you can share.
Yep.
So this is gonna definitely help with that a lot. So
all right, that's it for this week. Thank you everybody for being here. Have a good evening and a great week, and let's talk next time.
Be here next week. But
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys.
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room.